Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Monday, February 26th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got NHL action this Monday night. The Boston Bruins versus the Seattle Kraken. Puck drop is going to be here in just a couple minutes. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend, and I finally got a chance to get pasta and Gru on the thumb. I've been wanting to be able to get a good Joey Decord and a good Philip Grubauer image, and I've been trying to trickle in a few more players. It started off with Maddie, and then Jared McCann, and Yanni, and then now I'm at Philip Grubauer, and these goalie thumbs look awesome just for the mask that he's wearing itself. I don't know if we're going to be able to win. Obviously, we had to go with the Winter Classics, and it didn't turn out very good for us that last matchup. So I'm hoping that we can find a way to play up to Boston's potential. Otherwise, it could get very ugly very early. But if we match their intensity and we match their vibes and their energy, maybe we can end up having a chance at the very end to get it. Or, maybe we end up playing an exceptional game, and we find a way to end up surprising everyone, and we end up beating them by a decent amount. It's definitely going to be an uphill battle. I wouldn't expect Seattle to blow them out. It's going to be tough, even though we are at home, but I'm hoping that we can find a way, and it looks like they're going to be reshuffling the lines to find some kind of chemistry with certain players that maybe they didn't have in previous matchups. Looks like Burakovsky and Bjorkstrand flip-flop. And I'm definitely excited to see where that will lead. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. NASCAR, Ambetta, 400. Oh, my goodness. That photo finish with those three cars, I decided to take, yesterday off and just spend time with Paisley for my mental health and watch NASCAR. And I'm glad I did. Really happy that we have NASCAR on Sundays to kind of supplement the NFL when we don't have it. And then usually NHL, during the week. Megan in the building, what's good? Sarah in the building, what's good? Let's get to 100 and donos. Let's do it. Odin's son in the building, what's good? How are you? Let's go. Man, 80 degrees, that's wild. Daniel in the building, what's good? Let's go. Megan in the building, how are you? Hopefully everything gets going for you. Obviously, with the plumber situation, hopefully things go well. And I'm just hoping that we can find a way. I was kind of nice to see that they're kind of playing around with the lines, trying to be able to find, maybe the right combination of players to get going early. So we'll see if the Burakovsky Bjorkstrand flip-flop ends up working out tonight. Now, if we end up losing tonight, I don't think anyone would really be surprised. Boston is a very good team. They are first place in the Atlantic. Right now, we have dropped from 5th to 6th in the Pacific. So this is going to be very, very difficult. It won't be easy, but every once in a while, we'll have a matchup like this where it looks like we're going to lose, and then we come out swinging, and then we end up blowing them out, or we end up winning towards the end. That's what I'm hoping that happens. But if we end up losing, 4-1, 5-2, 6-3, I don't think anyone would be that shocked. But I hope that Seattle brings it. And a lot of times, it's about matching the energy and, playing up to the potential. If we end up going against a lower name team, sometimes the energy isn't there right away. But now going in, knowing that we're going against a first place team, a playoff team for sure, a team that was amazing last year, amazing this year, but obviously being great in the regular season for Boston last year. And then they kind of fell short in the playoffs, kind of like a Dallas Cowboys situation where you're really damn good during the regular season, but then you get to the playoffs and they kind of fell on their face a little bit. So Boston's trying to improve those mistakes that they had last season, and they're right back in first place again. So we'll see what happens with this matchup tonight, but I'm crossing my fingers and I'm hoping that we can end up getting this done. And, I had to go with Gru. I had an original thumbnail already made out, but I said, you know what, let's put some extra effort and let's find a way to get it done. And the Kraken did beat the Bruins 4-1 in February. So I believe it was a day after Valentine's Day. So it's not like this is going to be impossible. And it was kind of shocking for the Kraken to win on the road against the Bruins 4-1. But again, Are we going to be able to do the same thing that we did on the road, or will the Bruins get payback for us beating them 4-1, just a little while ago? So we will find out very, very shortly. Odin son, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Odin son with a 30, wanting to make sure that we don't eat air for dinner. I appreciate that. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang, $30 dono. Thank you so much. After the NFL season ends, this channel is 24/7, 365. So we're going to have to do baseball, NASCAR, hockey, wrestling, until we end up getting football to come back. But we will sprinkle in, the combine, the NFL draft. And if there ends up being some big news or big moves, I don't mind dedicating a stream to the NFL, even though we're not having any NFL games or any college football games for quite a few months. So thank you so much. What do you want to do for photos? You want some devils? You want some juggalos? You want some wrestling photos? You let me know what you want, and I got you. I'll take care of you. Oh, ruptured eardrum. That's not good. That is good. Light in the bathroom is good with your plumbing situation. Ruptured eardrum for Drew, not good. 30 doll hairs. Let's get to a hundo. And we definitely love you and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Excited. Got grew on the fucking thumb. Finally. I will promise to get a Joey Decord, but again, I'm pretty picky. And if I can't get the image to look the way that I want, like this one took me like probably an hour to do, because once I had it completed, or I thought I had it completed, right? Then the way that thumbnails work, it's kind of like baking a cake. You have to do it by layers. So first you have to end up, finding the initial background, then the NHL logo, right? Then the verses, then the Boston logo, then the Kraken logo, right? Then you got to do the player pasta, then you got to do Gru, and you got to size it up, and you got to put it into the kind of Photoshop photo editor program and see if it'll actually convert. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And then after you get all of that done, and then you think you're almost, finished, then you have to do the live play-by-play and reactions with the glow. And sometimes the words end up being behind the player. Then I got to reset my computer, reset the program, and then kind of filter it through. But this one turned out good. And I think anything that has a goalie helmet, a goalie mask, obviously in the thumb, it makes it pop even more. So I can't wait to be able to get Joey Decord, but we got the Grubauer on there, and it turned out pretty fucking sweet. Let's go, baby. Matt in the building. What's good? Let's go. Let's get those likes up. Let's try to get to 10. And then once we get to 10, let's try to get to 20. And then if we have enough people in the room on Twitter/X, shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X, as well as the people in the room across the globe. And then if we can, get to 2025, if everything goes to that, based on how many people we have in the room, that would be great. But obviously the goal on every live stream is to get 20 likes or more. 20 to 30 is kind of the wheelhouse, unless we have a lot more people in the room. And that'll help us out with the algorithm overall, and as well getting recommended to other people that are on YouTube. Cyberpunk with the share on Twitter/X, as well as Sarah. Thank you so much. Appreciate the two of y'all helping out there. Even when Cyber is busy, he still tries to make an effort, even if he can't be here, to at least share the stream, which is much appreciated. So, all right, let me see, make sure I got everything situated here. Odin, let me know what you are looking for photos, and I gotcha. And man, that NASCAR race, my mental health kind of goes up and down, and usually it's pretty good with Paisley. And I try to make sure I exercise and get plenty of good food and fruits and vegetables and exercise and do all that. But I didn't want to really do a lot of the spring training type of games, because they're on so early, and you're only getting like one or two starters that play for a couple at bats or a pitcher that pitches like today for Luis Castillo. We finally got our first win in spring training. Finally against the Reds. We're 1-2, but we've only had a fraction of the lineup in from time to time. But once we start having some of these spring training matchups that end up being like at 5:00 or later, whether that ends up being the Dodgers. Megan, thank you for the share on Twitter/X as well. But once we start having like the Dodgers or Mariners start playing at 5 p.m. or later, if it ends up being spring training, then I would be more inclined to do that. But for the time being, it's all going to be really about the time slot. And usually 5 to 7 o'clock Pacific is the best for most people because they're off work, they're settled in, they're getting ready to eat dinner, they've already ate dinner, they're in their room, they're in their living room, you're just chilling right now, hanging out with your boy, and I'm here. Hackstall versus Jim Montgomery. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right, here we go. I'm excited. And then Judah will be joining us at some point for his Bruins. And I just hope that we can bring the intensity. I thought, wearing those Winter Classic jerseys would give us that extra motivation. You look good, you feel good, you play good, like Deion Sanders would say. But we just got our ass kicked, and it was over early. So I'm hoping that we're going back to the traditional home jerseys. We know we're going against a first-place team. And I don't think necessarily we need to even score first to win. But we just need to make sure we're matching, their intensity. We can't have Pasta go off for like, a hat trick or go for 2 goals and 2 assists. Otherwise, we're going to get our ass kicked. So definitely like the shuffling of the lineup by Hack. I love that Hack. Love the strategy, and I hope it ends up working out. And let's hope that Gru ends up having his 3rd start, and he's magical because he had 2 really good starts. Then he filled in for Decord on that last matchup when we were getting our ass kicked. I believe he only gave up 1 goal after Decord got pulled. So I don't really count that as like a full start because he just got in after the pull. So last 2 full starts from Philip Grubauer have been fantastic. So I'm hoping that this will be number 3. And if Grubauer can give up 3 goals or less, we're going to win tonight. If he ends up giving more than 3, chances are we're not going to win because I'm not sure if we're going to be able to match that offensive power. Ooh, big Jack. Kraken player goes down. Come on, baby. Tata, Yamamoto. I mean, we need some kind of new hero today. We've been getting some, Dunn. We've been getting some Maddie. But we're gonna need someone else. Jared McCann is always, in the mix for assists and goals. It seems like every game. But what about one of those other guys? What about Bjorky? What about Kyler Yamamoto? Well, we got to be able to get someone else to kind of get the the puck going. And once we end up getting the ball rolling, then other people will be able to chip in as well. But Gru is going to be the number 1 priority, and hopefully he ends up having his head on a swivel like he seems like he does so far. And it wouldn't hurt if we could end up getting a goal or 2, within the first 2 periods. So let's go, baby. Let's go. Tata sauce with a goal would be great too. I mean, just getting someone that maybe doesn't usually score every game or 2, and maybe that guy could be the guy that spark, that energy. And even though we know Tata, it seems like usually scores, in the 2nd period, 3rd period, but maybe we can end up getting an early tartar sauce goal, and that'll get us going. Boston looks very crisp out there, just wide. 2 shots on goal for the Bruins, 1 for the Kraken. Let's go. All right, let me check. Ooh, look at that. Man, Pondo. That's cool. 1 point for 700 for Pasta, so he's going to get that tonight. That's cool. Matt, thank you for the share. Elliot, double E in the building. What's good, my brother? Let me send it to Sarah, and then I can pull it from there. But the best part of the weekend for me was that NASCAR race. I watched literally the whole thing, and I'm just glad that I have things that give me joy, like NHL hockey, like NASCAR, and like the MLB. And sometimes, I'll be honest, as much as I love the NHL and the MLB, sometimes, depending on my mood, sometimes I like NASCAR just as much or even slightly more. I don't know what it is, just maybe this, the sound of the cars, the track, the wrecks, just everything that has to do, with NASCAR. But There were so many wrecks in that race and lots of cautions, but to have 3 cars and then for them to go 4 wide and the Mbetta, 400, and then to have that photo finish with 3 cars with what .03, the difference was amazing. And a shout out to Daniel Suarez because he has only won 2 races, and I actually did the live stream for his very first one that he got last year. So pretty cool to see for a guy that's been in, driving and racing for 7-8 years, and it took him 6-7 years to get his first win, and then he got another one, even though it was down to a photo finish. And I know Kyle Busch was a little bit upset, and obviously Blaney was right there as well. But again, pretty cool to see Suarez end up, kind of, punching his ticket and being able to get another win for Trackhouse. Very, very exciting. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, they had the replay on FS1, and I don't know how many times they're going to replay it. But if you are an occasional NASCAR fan, that is one of the best races that I've seen in a long, long time. But again, you have to know the names of the players, the names of the drivers. And if you don't really know the names, of the hockey players, the baseball players, or the drivers, or the teams, or the sponsorships, of course you're not going to be that interested. So, but I try to be able to kind of get in and get engaged with everything. But definitely Daytona 500 and Mbetta 400 was great. And I'm really happy the way that the NASCAR season has started. 15 minutes to go. We're still knotted up at 0. 4 shots on goal for the Bruins, 1 for the Kraken. Let me see. Did I go through? Twitter X has been a little weird lately, where sometimes it takes a minute to be able to get things formatted and whatnot. Or like, when you want to read a message or you send a message, but then it says like a little error on the bottom, like you cannot receive the message or you can't send the message. Usually I just, either X out of the whole program or I'll just restart my phone when I end up getting that, even though I know it's not my phone. It's, the actual Twitter/X. Come on, Elon, get your shit together and fix, baby. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Elon doesn't start doing computers pretty soon. I saw him, do some messages, based off like Microsoft and, his AI and information and whatnot. So we already know what he's doing with Tesla. And damn it, 1-0 Bruins. And there is Pasta. And that is .700. And am I surprised? No, I'm not. Damn it, Gru. All right, well, Pasta got that out of the way. All right, we got you both on the thumbnail here. All right, Pasta, but I can't have you going crazy. Nice job. 1-0 Bruins. Shit. I wish I would act like I'm surprised, but I'm not when he's one of the best in the NHL. And I'm going to have to try to, at some point, I want to try to get some Tampa Bay Lightning games in because Kucherov has been going wild crazy, and he's definitely going to be in the hunt, for being the top dog. I mean, we already know, how many GOATs there are. There's quite a few kind of towards out the top with like Nathan McKinnon and a few others, but Kucherov has been balling. Pasta 1-0 Bruins. All right, Pasta. You got one. I can't have you going for a hat trick tonight. Nice job, Pasta. 700 points for his career. He is a legend. All right, let's get a couple up here, and then let's get some photos up. All right, one sec. All right, where did that photo go? I sent it to Sarah. There it is. See if this will format. I think it will. Madman Pondo. My goodness. Old school. And then you said with that wrestling clip that you sent me for that particular league or franchise and whatnot. I didn't even know that they had that. I kind of heard, or maybe you told me before about it and whatnot, but it looked very interesting. Juggalo Championship Wrestling, baby. And let me know what else that you want. If you want anything else, I got you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, Mustafa getting a little bit of love. Obviously with that, and also with Dolph Ziggler, Nemeth, getting a little bit of gold around his waist. Sometimes, these companies, they don't have time to be able to recognize some of these other lower to mid-level guys or guys that are underappreciated. So it's kind of cool that even though, they probably wouldn't have, minded being able to stay where they were at. But if you have a chance to go somewhere else and to get recognized and get gold, whether it be with WWE, AEW, NJPW, Impact, or wherever, or TNA, it's cool to be able to see some of these other guys, be able to get a little bit of gold around their waist. Youngest is 700 points, and number 2 to Bobby Orr. Pasta, you are crazy. Profar dead. 0 for 2. Well, at least it's not like Jared Kelenic. I saw some Mariners, fans that are, I guess, Jared Kelenic haters, and they, put up his stat line. I believe Kelenic is like 0 for 4 or 0 for 5 to start the season. So, it is what it is. I like to be able to root for guys once they leave the Mariners to do well. And again, if your organization doesn't spend money, anything that any former player of the Mariners has said hasn't been lies. It's been the truth. It's just, whether you still like that guy or not. But I wish the best for Jared Kelenic in Atlanta. And even though some Mariner fans are going to talk shit, that's how some fans are going to react, once a player leaves your team. So 1-0 Bruins. Riddle, Riddle as well. That's another one. There you go. Good, another addition there. I'm always trying to keep my eyes, on socials, for what's going on other than WWE or AEW. So. Woo, he did. Damn, 17 years old. Dude, that's awesome. That's always good. Harry Ford has gotten minimal at bats, but he hasn't got a hit yet. I believe. Last time I saw he played, I think he went 0 for 2, but it's kind of cool because that might be our future catcher. We have Garver that we picked up from Texas. That's going to be the everyday DH since we don't have Mike Ford. But at some point, Cal Raleigh may have to go to DH. And then maybe Harry Ford will be the starting catcher in a couple of years, but it won't be this year or next year. The earliest it would be probably 2025 or 2026. But we don't know if Harry will be better than Cal Raleigh. I don't mind. I like Cal Raleigh at catcher, honestly. And if Garver ends up being the DH, fine. But maybe Ford will be the backup. Maybe he'll be the starter. Maybe we'll trade him, depending on how it goes. But I'm a big Cal guy, so I don't want Cal to lose his job. But he can always go from catcher to DH if needed. Come on, Kraken. Nice. Congratulations on that. I have not been able to get a new gen system. I'm still playing PS2 and 64 in my room, but I imagine it's great. I got a couple friends that have them, and they love them, which I assume that any gamer would. And I know you'll have a lot of fun with that. Congrats with that. 2K. Bray and Uncle Howdy, nice. I saw CM Punk had some kind of thing where they some kind of he was making a comment that he's not in there long term or whatever, and then WWE and then the video game through 2K responded back, but I didn't look at the whole post. So yeah, we still got a lot of free agents still available for sure. And I'll get you some more photos once we end up getting into another commercial break. Odin, whatever you want. I got you. Appreciate you very much. Jared McCann, let's go, baby. Maybe McCann will be the one. All right. We want to make sure we're keeping it 100. We got Boston on here, but we can't keep Boston logo up forever. Six shots on goal for the Bruins, only one for the Kraken. This is kind of what I was fearing, but again, as long as it doesn't get out of hand where it's 3-0 after the first period, as long as it's not that, we're fine. Even 2-0, I still feel that it's not good, but at least that it's not oh, hell, the game is over. Because I feel like once you get up 3 goals, unless you're one of the top 10 teams in the NHL, it's hard to come back. It's mentally, physically, and to be able to get everyone hyped up, and the words that Hack is saying, if we get down 3-0, some guys are still going to be on board that we're going to be coming back. But just like any other team, some players are going to check out, and they're going to be like, probably thinking about, what's the plan for later tonight? Where am I going? Where am I eating? Who am I meeting up with? And I feel that happens in all professional sports once one team kind of puts a whooping on the other. In the NBA, NHL, NFL, college basketball, it doesn't matter. Once you end up getting, a 3-4 goal lead, mentally, most guys have already checked out. And even some of the elite teams can check out, being down by that much. But right now it's only 1-0, and we need wins so desperately. I hate it that we're going in the reverse direction. Instead of going from 5th to 4th, we're going from 5th to 6th. And Boston is a first place team. So I hope that we can bring the effort here today. Reflect in the building. What's good? I'm going to look at your link. Oh, wow. Oh, you sent me the link. It's got all the, wow. I'm looking at it right now. And then I didn't get a chance to watch the WWE pay-per-view with all you guys. I watched it, a few hours after it aired. I didn't get your guys' thoughts. Has anybody in the room watched the whole entire pay-per-view like me, or did you guys skip it? It's worth watching, definitely. I was actually thinking about maybe even watching it again, to be honest. I don't like watching WWE pay-per-views without the group. It just felt weird, like watching it by myself and not being able to kind of interact with y'all while it was going on. And I know they're doing, Becky a solid, but, I think at one point or another, most people were wanting anybody but Becky to win. But again, you get a little bit of pull and a little bit of politics when you got Seth and Becky, there being a power couple and whatnot. I don't know. And like I said, I rooted for Becky early in her career, but again, she is kind of stiff. She's not as stiff as a wrestler as like a Ronda Rousey, where she's going to injure people. But as far as like excitement in the ring, Becky doesn't really give you a whole lot of excitement in the ring. She's a lot better on the microphone than she is in the ring. I think almost anybody that watched that pay-per-view was rooting for Tiffany Stratton. And if it's Tiff time, kind of like Dame time. And if you weren't rooting for Tiffany Stratton based on how she, did, you already know she's next woman up. She's going to be Charlotte Flair 2.0. She's cooking. You already could tell she's going to be a Hall of Famer. She has the it factor. She's awesome, right? So if they didn't want to give her the push too soon and they want her to earn it and go through her story and kind of work for it, right? Then I think that others were thinking maybe like Liv Morgan but anybody but Becky. So we'll see how it all plays out for WrestleMania, but I just hope we end up having good matchups. And then also with people getting injured, the Vince McMahon scandal, CM Punk getting injured, no Brock Lesnar, it definitely has thrown some of the matches for a loop, but it's definitely worth watching. All right, less than 8 minutes to go. 1-0 Bruins. We got to limit pasta, baby. Yeah, chamber matches were great. I agree. Oh, nice. Preston in the building. What's good? Hey, Preston, I was thinking, because I do like doing the Stars and the Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights. And I was peeking ahead, because I like to peek ahead throughout my work schedule. 8 shots on goal for the Bruins, 2 for the Kraken. Come on, Kraken. 13 minutes in and you're at home and you only got 2. Come on now. But tomorrow, Golden Knights and the Maple Leafs are playing. So that's early at 4. So I'm going to watch that, but I'm not going to stream that. I'll be checking out Marchessault and Stone and Austin Matthews and Nylander. So I'll be watching that privately and getting ready for like the stream. And we don't have the Kraken tomorrow, but the Stars and the Avalanche play tomorrow on ESPN Plus Hockey Night and Hulu at 6:30. We're going to do that game tomorrow because I love watching the Stars. I like watching the Avalanche a lot. So, those are usually the 3 teams I'm looking at other than the Kraken, at least in like the Western, conference. So I'm going to be looking at the Avalanche, the Stars, and then obviously the Vegas Golden Knights. I love being able to do Boston for Judah, the Devils, for Odin's son. But we'll be doing Stars and Avalanche tomorrow. And I'm actually kind of excited for it. I think it's going to be pretty good. And I'll definitely be watching the Maple Leafs with Austin Matthews as well. And we'll see if they can end up, beating up on the Vegas Golden Knights at home. I'm very interested in that one too. So, yeah. So, I mean, if I, like I said, I wish I could squeeze in, more than, one and whatnot. But I was peeking ahead, and the first thing that I saw was that the Maple Leafs and the Vegas Golden Knights. I was like, ooh. And then I had to scroll down. And if the Stars and the Avalanche weren't playing, at that same, day, oh, we definitely would have done the Maple Leafs and the Vegas Golden Knights. But I figured anytime the Stars, and the Avalanche match up, I got to do it. So, and then you got the Devils and Sharks tomorrow night, Penguins and Canucks, Stars Avalanche tomorrow at 6:30. We'll do that. Kings, Flames, Blues and Jets. Blues there for Sarah, Hurricane and Wild, Senators and Predators. Lightning and Flyers with Kucherov. I love Kucherov. He's crazy. Sabres and Panthers, Caps and Red Wings, Coyotes and Canadians. And then the first game to kind of start it all off is that Golden Knights and Maple Leafs. So I'll be able to watch that while I make my thumb, hang out with Paisley. We'll see what the Maple Leafs can do with Matthews, and maybe they can get the dub over the Vegas Golden Knights, and then we'll have Stars and Avs, and it's going to be awesome. I think that, even if you're not a fan of those two teams, the players that are on those two teams, and they love going at each other. So there's going to be a good chance for like a really high scoring game. Even if the goalies are good, we could still end up getting like a 6-3, 6-4 game. And I like that, especially when we have, certain, matchups with the Kraken, where when I do a Kraken stream, sometimes we're going to end up getting 5 or 6 goals, but most of the time it's 4 goals or less. So it'll be kind of cool to be able to see what we end up getting tomorrow. And I'm definitely excited about it. So if you don't have anything going on tomorrow, come through, Preston, and we can watch it together. Oh, we got to have Ottinger play tomorrow. We got to. Nothing against Wedgwood, but, he's not as good, as Ottinger. We know that. Yeah. Well, the Leafs and the Stars, or the Leafs and the Vegas Golden Knights is at 4. So by the time that game ends, then the Stars Avalanche game starts. So, each matchup is about 2 hours and 30 minutes. So. Pasta's so good. 37 goals this season. And hopefully we'll get Judah in here at some point. I sent him a message. Usually checks my Instagram on there too, so. And then Odin, let me know what other photos, if there's anything else that you want to see. I got you. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Hack. We need you, baby. Let's get this team motivated. Let's go. Now we finally got some more shots on goal. 9 shots on goal for the Bruins, 7 for the Kraken. Much better than the 1 or 2 that we were sitting at for the first 10 or 12 minutes of this first period. Just match their energy, aggressiveness. If we can end up getting a couple power plays here and there, that would be great, because that's what you're going to need, against a team like this. And like I said, and you're going to have to make sure you're helping Grew out, so that way there's not 3 Bruins hacking away, one attempt after another rebound after another. I mean, Grew is only one man. He can only do so much. And hopefully he can, keep it to a 1 goal per period, given up. So hopefully we give up 3 or less, but we're already down 1-0. So we'll see. And hopefully we can get someone that can, get some goals for us. Nice save there. Let's go, Grew. Let's go. Yeah. You've probably seen more post game interviews or morning interviews the next day than me, but I usually try to take a peek with the Kraken. I follow them on socials and whatnot, and there's a few other Kraken fan pages that will come up on my feed from like Canada and other places. And then they'll have more of the detailed photos or interviews or beat writer stuff. And yeah, anytime you wear the Winter Classic jerseys, you don't want to get, your ass kicked like that. And that was a shame, but hopefully we can bounce back. But the bottom line is, the Kraken aren't very good this year. We're not very good this year. We struggled early on. We had a point where we ended up having like an 9-game win streak, but it's like you need to have a few of those throughout the year. And we had a hard schedule early on. And then after, the All-Star break, supposedly based on what the people have, said in the broadcast booth, that we had one of the top 5 easiest based off strength of schedule percentage-wise, based off the opponent's percentage that we were playing. So, that's great, but still, even if we're playing, teams that are below 500 percentage-wise, that doesn't mean that's an automatic win for the Kraken when we're 6th place in the Pacific. So, but you just got to be able to pray that, things start, clicking, and then we can get hot at the right time late. And then also maybe make a move before the deadline, or 2 or 3 or 4, and maybe that can give us a little bit of a burst as well. 4:31 left in the first period. 1-0 Bruins. Odin, anything? Did you send me? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, this is cool. That's what you're going to? Which one did you get tickets for? You got tickets for both? Oh, those are cool. All right, hold up. All right, so here's the first one. Let's see. I got to save, and then I got to send it, and then I got to format it, and then I'll put it up. All right, let's see. All right, let me see. You got tickets for both? Hell yeah, my guy. That's one thing, wrestling and hockey, you love that stuff. Love it, love it, love it. But to be able to, end up going to a show, I know that does a lot for your mental health, and it's really, really good. And, for you, some people, it's not necessarily like something that they need in their life. Some people, have a different connection to music, and what it does for them. And I'm very, very excited for you, man. You'll definitely have to send me, when you end up going there, you'll have to definitely send me some photo or video, depending on your internet connection and what you got going on with your device and whatnot. But definitely excited for you. When are the 2 concerts? Hell yeah, my guy. That's fucking electric, baby. Let's go. We're down 1-0. Pasta and Gru. Let's go. All right, come on, Kraken. Come on, Bowie needs to get used. We just can't have Bowie not being used. Good save by Gru. Gru. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Oh, Megan, I almost totally forgot. I saw Jim Zorn on a fucking commercial yesterday, right? Because obviously I'm here in the Pacific Northwest. So when I end up watching, like Root or some of the local programming, sometimes, I'll see random things like, every once in a while, maybe it'll be like Marshawn Lynch, and he's linked with someone, or maybe it's like Bobby Wagner or one of the Mariners or one of the former Seahawks. But I'm trying to remember what it was for. Maybe it was for like a roofing company or something like that. But I'll have to look it up, or or maybe you already know. But I know he's got a couple sponsorships or a couple companies that he's working with. But it was just kind of crazy. Like, it just came out of the blue, and I was like, "Is that Jim Zorn?" I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "That would be crazy." Megan would go wild. She would go crazy. But I ended up seeing that, and I was like, the first thing, I was like, "Oh, Megan would have loved that." I'm not sure if they. I mean, you can find anything on the internet through YouTube and anywhere else, but I just thought it was crazy that you never know who you're going to end up seeing on TV. And it's like, and I didn't expect him, because like I said, you're going to get, the bigger name guys like, Lynch, Bobby Wagner, maybe like a Steve Largent here and there. So that's cool that, and it's not like Zorn is a scrub or anything like that. He's just, not as a popular name as some of those others. But I thought it was really cool to see his face and to see the commercial and whatnot. If I end up getting a link for it or whatever, I'll send it to you. But it was pretty sweet. I mean, I don't care what it is. It could be, whatever it is, roofing, tiling, cabinetry, whatever, but I think it was something to do with, I don't even know. Was it plumbing, roofing, something? But someone paid Zorn money that was a big fan of the Seahawks and wanted him to be the ambassador. So that's pretty cool. Even at, this time of day and age, Zorn is still getting paid for being a Seahawk, which is pretty sweet. 1-0 Bruins, 11 shots on goal for Boston, 8 for the Kraken. Oh, Stevie Nicks. Yeah, you know everything, man. You're on it. Nice. How was it? How was the beach? Largent and Kyle for Hanes underwear. That's awesome. I love it. You never know, what brands that some of these people, sometimes I'll have these 80s and 90s like throwback channels or like pages, and then all they do is show old commercials of toys or food or celebrities back in the day, endorsing whatever. And sometimes I'll get like in a trance where I'll just like watch one, and then all of a sudden I'll end up watching, almost all of them as they're going throughout the feed and whatnot. It's cool to be able to go back and kind of, relive the past, especially seeing, the old logos and, seeing the old school Taco Bell, Wendy's, and how everything used to look, how things used to be like glass bottles, not plastic. It's crazy. Or the way that like Wendy's and McDonald's and Taco Bell locations used to look building wise, inside and out, and what they look like now. All right, less than a minute to go. 1-0 Bruins. Let's go, baby. Judah. I knew you were coming in at some point. How are you, bro? We'll throw up the B up there for Judah. What's good? How are you? Are you still cat sitting? Just missed. Yeah, I love the old school retro. I mean, for me, that's all I do. I mean, I'm already still watching 80s and 90s cartoons on the daily. Like, if I don't get, at least I'm still watching Deadwood. I'm still watching True Blood. So I'm going back and forth with True Blood and Deadwood until I finish Deadwood. I think I'm on season 2, episode 3 or 4. And then I have to get like Batman, the animated series in, regular show with Mordecai and Rigby. And then also, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles. I always have to find something old school that makes me smile and puts me in a good vibe. So it's all about vibration and energy and good vibes. So yes. That's why I didn't stream yesterday. All the baseball games and hockey, everything was on early, and I just didn't think the turnout would be very good. And so I just ended up watching the NASCAR race with Paisley and, walking and exercising with her and spending time with her, and then ended up being great. The NASCAR race was one of the best finishes I've ever seen in my entire life. 3 cars with a matter of, nose to nose to nose for the finish. I got to see 4 wide there. Pretty sweet. So I got a chance to watch a little bit of basketball, baseball, football, No. Basketball, baseball, hockey, no football, and then obviously wrestling on the day before. So, oh, Bad Batch. What did you think? What did you think? I mean, we love anything, we love anything Star Wars, So, I mean, obviously, some people are going to be like, I like the old stuff only. And I get it. I respect those fans. Or they'll say, oh, I only like the stuff with like Natalie Portman in it. Like, because obviously they did like, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So, some people like the older stuff in the 70s and 80s. Some people like the stuff, in the 90s. And then some people, will really be about The Mandalorian and all of the spinoffs. And then you'll get other people that are like, that's garbage. But for me, I'm such a fan that it can pretty much be anything, as long, even if I don't recognize any of the actors or actresses, as long as it's got a decent director and as long as the acting is good, which Star Wars typically is, and they have a good plot and storyline for the most part, I'm going to end up dedicating my time and day, to appreciating what it is. Now, with Marvel and DC, it's a little different because Marvel and DC have some stuff that's crap. Some stuff is good, but some stuff is just going to be average or crap. It's not going to be for everyone. You know what I mean? Like for example, like a Black Adam and some of these other ones like The Rock did, and some of the other, movies, that are kind of not Avengers, type of level. You're going to get those other like filler Marvel or DC movies, or maybe you're a DC guy or girl, but you don't like certain actors doing Batman. Everyone's got their Batman that they like, from, going way, way back in the day, to now. For me, I don't know. I like Christian Bale just because I like the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises and whatnot, but I got appreciation for the old school stuff. And then I ended up watching one of the was it the Robert Pattinson Batman, one of the newer ones, and I ended up watching that a little while ago. And I thought they actually did a pretty good job. Just also like with the Flash movie, I was a big fan of the Flash TV show. And then when I found out that the actor that played the Flash, Barry, wasn't going to be the same guy, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like it. And then I ended up watching the movie, The Flash, and I was like, holy shit, this is the perfect like casted person, a little kind of goofy, a little witty, but very good at his delivery. And sometimes, you just have to be able to be open-minded about things, and just think, don't have any expectations and just go in trying to enjoy it. And sometimes you can be surprised at the end of the day. So, but I ended up enjoying, what I was, and overall they were both pretty good. But again, as you guys know, DC and Marvel, sometimes good, sometimes bad for that mid-level stuff. But I feel with the Star Wars stuff, I haven't really seen any spinoff that I didn't like. I kind of liked all of them. I don't think I'm like, oh, I don't like it. I pretty much liked them all. So, no. I'm the old man. You did? Okay. Well, yeah, I know what I'm going to be doing at some point. Oh, race was so good, man. It was really good for my soul. I needed that. I was like, man, that's like, because I want to be able to, stream. But again, I don't want to not necessarily waste my time. But if I'm spending an hour to do a thumb and then I'm doing a 3-hour stream, and who knows if we're going to have people show up or if I'm going to be able to get likes, subs, or donos, at a stream if I do it at noon. It's like, it's just a shitty time slot, for some of these baseball games. So, and then obviously I would love to be able to do NASCAR, but there's just not enough of a market out there, to do NASCAR. So, we did it a couple years ago and it was pretty good. And then, it started to kind of dwindle off a little bit. And, I'm always down to do whatever, but again, we have to have people show up to make it worthwhile if I'm going to do something. So, I appreciate that. 1-0, end of the first period. The animated series. Yeah, I'm watching the animated series right now. I've already watched it. And then usually what happens, I'll just like something a lot. So it's kind of like my comfort thing. Just like you guys probably have like a comfort show that you just put on the background when you're cleaning, or when you're on your phone or when you're doing like chores or whatever. Everyone's got, or you're getting ready, settled to go to bed. Like, you might have programs that you're like looking to watch, but everyone's got a program or two that's kind of like the go-to program in the background that makes them feel good, whether that's like, a sitcom like Friends, a cartoon like Simpsons. For me, regular show with Mordecai and Rigby, it's more of a modern cartoon, but it's so well written with the way that they have the characters and the cast. I honestly feel that cartoon, and I watch all the cartoons, like I watch everything, like it doesn't matter if it's SpongeBob or Rick and Morty, Simpsons or King of the Hill or Bob's Burgers. If it's a good cartoon, I'm going to invest and I'll watch. But I'm telling you that regular show is super underrated for anyone that hasn't seen it. Lots of laughs. It's very witty. Good cast. The voiceovers for the characters are awesome. Like Mordecai and Rigby, the way that they sound. Great adventures, and it's like never boring. It's always something going on, kind of like, and which ones are like that. Like usually like Rick and Morty, you're not going to get anything really boring. King of the Hill is always funny with Bobby. You got Simpsons and Bob's Burgers. So, it just kind of depends on, what you're drawn to, I guess, based off cartoon and whatnot. So, well, I have, but the thing is, I usually do races. But again, if I do a race, right, and if we get zero donos and we don't get anybody to show up, I'm not going to sit there. And as you know, NASCAR is the longest out of any stream. So if I'm going to be sitting there for potentially 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, and then I'm at zero, or like 5, that's not worth my time. You know what I mean? Like I can watch it on my own, but I mean, it's like I have to make sure that we have 10 to 20 people in the room, for me to make it worthwhile, for me to do a NASCAR and have, 2 people in the room or 4 people, it's not worth it, I guess, unless we're getting like monster donos and then more people show up and then we get more and more and more. But if I'm going to be, doing a 4, 5, 6 hour stream and we're not getting shares, we're not getting subs, we're barely getting anybody to show up, and then we're not getting a lot of donos, I got to look out for my mental health too, because again, this is not that I'm something that I'm just doing for fun anymore. This is like my full-time job, so this is like my full-time income. So I treat it, as a business. So, sometimes I wish that I could let things go a little bit more. But again, for someone that has been, putting in so much time and effort, it's like I got over 2,000, videos and live streams in the last, 7, 8 years. That's like pretty much me recording every day for like 6 years straight. It can get to your mental health, and it's not like I'm going in every stream assuming or expecting, oh, we need 30 to 40 likes, and oh, I need to hit 300 in donos, or I need to get fucking 10 shares, or I better get 10 new subs this stream. I never think that. I just try to go in, with every stream with an open mind and hoping and praying that we get enough people to come through to have a good time so I can do some pictures, and then hopefully I can end up, getting some type of support, so that way I can actually survive with me and Paisley and pay bills and pay my cell phone bill, pay the internet bill, so I can continue the dream. So, oh, Family Guy is great. I mean, it's definitely pushes the boundaries, but it's very good. If you're looking for something that's going to make you laugh, and it doesn't even matter if it's the old ones or the new ones, it definitely pushes the boundaries on what can be said in a cartoon. And that's why people like it, because they definitely push the boundaries maybe more than any other cartoon, except for maybe Rick and Morty that's on TV right now. So, I mean, besides the stuff that's on like late night, like that late night stuff that's on at like midnight, Cartoon Network or Swim, that's on at like 1 in the morning. I like Royal Crackers. Royal Crackers is another newer cartoon. If you're a cartoon fan, I think, if you have a certain type of personality, I think that, it would vibe with most people if you like the stuff that I've already kind of went over. So, that would be something that I would open up to, because Paisley's my number one. She's like, like my daughter. So, and for someone that doesn't have any kids, like she always is going to be my first priority. But again, as long as I get my exercise in and my reading and my film study, and I do that, and I have time. But the thing is, right? Um, I guess, I guess if it matters or doesn't matter. But the thing is, for me to make a thumbnail, I used to pay a guy to do a thumbnail for me, right? Which would, be $20 to $35 for a thumbnail, right? And then I, had to figure it out for myself because I can't afford that, right? And then eventually I got an unfair punishment. And then in that unfair punishment, where they ended up banning me for something I didn't do wrong for a week, in that time period, I ended up doing more reading. I still ended up streaming on Twitter/X, but I ended up doing more reading and then experimenting. And then I figured out how to actually make thumbnails to my standard, and it didn't take too long. But if I do like the last 30 minutes, that would mean that I would have to beforehand, I'd have to make a thumb. And like I said, I can't just, I'm not going to just go steal someone else's or just grab a still photo and then just, plop it up there. I guess I could, but again, to be able to try to attract eyeballs and whatnot, the nicer of a thumb that you have, most of the time, the better results you're going to have, unless you've already made it. Once you've already made it and you have, a certain amount of a fan base, at that point, it doesn't matter what you do for a thumb. You could literally just do a picture with no writing. You could just grab any kind of photo, plop it up, and you're going to get views because of what you built. You know what I mean? But for someone like me that it's not at that point yet, that, I'm going to have to take the time. And usually it takes 30 minutes to an hour to make a thumb. And then I would have to plop in and then try to maybe do like the last half hour of a race. But again, I don't really know how many people would show up because normally I also try to promote that, hey, I'm streaming, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours in advance. And then it all depends if people have notifications or not. So, but I wouldn't mind, doing NASCAR streams. But again, for someone that has been grinding on this stream for 12 years, right? And there's been plenty of streams where I hit zero, getting to this point, and we still end up, going through some days, even where I'm sitting right now at over 20,000 subs, where we end up at a 0, or a 1 or a 5, so at that point, it's like I have to be very careful with my mental health, so that way I don't do, too many streams where it could possibly put me in a bad, mindset or a mind frame, so. Yeah. And like I said, I follow NASCAR very, very heavy, as a kid. And then I ended up working with a boss whose name was Ed O'Neill, just like Al Bundy. And he loved NASCAR, and that's all he talked about. Then he got me back into it. And then after I stopped working with him, for about 10 years, I didn't really have anyone to talk about it with. And then obviously doing this channel, meeting people that actually like NASCAR like me. And then, going over things like that. But, I'm pretty familiar with the drivers and the teams, and everything that's going on. And I don't know. I've always liked it, the speed. And also if you have a good surround sound system, that it makes it even better. I just really love the whole aspect of racing and the wrecks and everything else. Yeah. Because there was a time where we did it a couple years ago and, we were getting 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 views. But, again, it's all about what time the race starts. And the later the race starts, the better chances that we're going to get people. So when you have a race that starts at 11:30 or noon, my time, that's a horrible time slot. It just doesn't work out. Even if it's Daytona 500, it doesn't fucking matter. It's like if you end up being later in the day for anything, basketball, baseball, football, hockey, wrestling, 5 o'clock Pacific or later, you have a better chance of getting better, numbers. But when it's earlier, depending on where people are at, sometimes people are, too busy for that shit, but yeah, I wouldn't mind, sprinkling in some, but again, it's like, I have to look out for me and my bottom line because this is my full-time job. And it's like, I can't take 0, 0, 0 when I have bills to pay. So And then plus, if I ended up doing 3 streams of 0, where's my mental health? Probably not in a very good spot. And then when I actually have something I'm excited about to stream on that 4th day, maybe I can't because I'm already mentally fucked, from getting 3 zeros and lack of support. So I have to really be careful. Sometimes I can get to a point where I might be a little fragile, so I have to make sure that I'm planning my day accordingly. And because you have to understand, everything is done in advance. And again, the thumbnails take usually about an hour to make. So it's not just like, oh, I can just hit start stream whenever I want. A lot of preparation goes in to every stream that I do. So, I mean, if it were a lot easier than that, then, yeah, I could do whatever. But again, when you've been grinding on something for 12 years and you've done 2,000 plus live streams or videos, I mean, it wears on you. It's like, I love it, and I'm happy that I had that vision. And then, I haven't finished, the story, and I'm not at the finish line. I honestly feel I'm only 1% in to my journey. Even though I'm already at this point right now, and I got a long, long ways to go. So, but I wouldn't mind doing them. But again, it all depends on, for all the people, like when I end up doing like voting, on the channel itself, like community page. And I said, oh, should we do baseball or do hockey? And then, people vote, right? And then when I end up doing the stream, those people don't even show up. It's like, why the fuck are you voting if you're not showing up? So sometimes I got to look at it like that. Just because I put out a poll, people can, say, oh, do this, I'll be there. And then they don't show up. So I have to look at it from that point of view as well. So, yeah. But like I said, I feel I got a lot of knowledge on the NASCAR as well as wrestling. I feel there's not really anything that I feel like uncomfortable. But of course, I could always learn more on the soccer side with football, soccer. I could always learn more on the NHL side. And obviously, if someone's older than me, if they have stuff, memories and information and knowledge on sports, obviously I'm definitely, willing to be able to learn, from people that are older than me. Because obviously if you're older, there's a chance that maybe you have seen something that I haven't seen. So, but maybe. And also I was kind of out of whack because that fucking pay-per-view was in Australia and it wasn't at a normal time for me to be able to do. So that kind of threw me for a loop too, because I really do value those once a month streams for wrestling, because it's not like we do anything else. Like we do one wrestling stream a month typically, and that's it. And I would love to be able to do like 4 or 5 a month if possible, because honestly, besides the NFL and college football, wrestling is right there. Wrestling for me is even higher than the NHL, than the MLB or NASCAR. That's how much I love it. Like sometimes wrestling for me is number one. And I know that's hard to believe for some people, but if you really know me, like my wrestling roots are deep. I mean, I've been watching, pretty much since the wrestling era began, where, it started to get, mega popular in like the mid 80s. Just like when the video game era broke, I still got mad love for the NFL, and that's always going to be my favorite. And I love the Oregon Ducks, and I love college football. And sometimes college football can be my favorite. It's like sometimes it's, right there. But, I love me some wrestling. And then once Netflix picks up Raw, and if we can get on the stream together at the same time, I would love to be able to do Monday Night Raw as a group. I know wrestling isn't going to be for everyone. Like Megan's not into it, and that's fine. There'll be other things that we can connect on, like football and like baseball, Mariners or Dodgers and Kraken. But for the others, a lot of football fans, I won't say every football fan, but a lot of the hardcore NFL or college football fans, they also are very, very hardcore wrestling fans. Because I know me, Odin, and Sarah are all around the same age, kind of gap. And we're all kind of the same in that regard. So, and I know we're not the only ones on the channel that have mad love for wrestling, other than, some of these other things that we cover. All right, we're in the second period, baby. All right, brother. Thank you so much. I'll end up getting you some more photos next time you come through. Appreciate you very, very much, man. Mark Berry in the building. What's good? 1-0 Bruins. Pasta getting his 700 goal, 700 point in his career. 11 shots on goal for the Bruins, 7 for the Kraken. Let's go, baby. I saw him. I saw him. Get the proper prediction. Based off the last shot attempt and whatnot, and he guessed correctly. I don't watch a lot. I don't watch a lot of him, but again, anytime it's Ronaldo or Messi, or one of the top dogs, and if they're on or there's some kind of highlight, I'll try to go out of my way to at least take a peek. Now, I'm not going to end up watching, the whole thing, but Hi, Paisley. All right, Megan, no worries. Yeah, it was more than two guys, reportedly 6 or 7 guys. And there's like video of them online, already making videos prior to them trying to jump him. And it doesn't matter if he's got like a feathery hat and his sense of style is going to be different than others, right? But there's not very many people that can get jumped by 6 or 7 guys and have enough awareness and body mass to be able to hold his own and throw those guys around. But it shows you, even when you end up trying to support the community, you're always going to have, someone ignorant, coming in there and, it's supposed to be for the kids. But of course, the adults are the fucking problem. A lot of times the adults don't want to take responsibility for their actions. A lot of times it's, the camps like, oh, this kid did this thing and that's fucked up, or this kid did this wrong thing. A lot of the times when you see these videos on the internet, it ends up being the adults that make more of an ass for themselves, and they're setting a horrible example for the youth. That's big facts. Oh, good save. Or if I end up seeing a video of a rapper, right, either a male rapper or a female rapper, and they have a kid, and the kid is like 5, and then you see like girls that are like basically almost nude, like twerking near the child or on the child. Like, come on, man. I get it if you're rich and famous and you're a rapper and you just don't give a fuck about anything, besides money and your friends and that lifestyle. But, those are two things that I saw that over the weekend that I was like, man, I was like, I get it if you're faded or whatever excuse that you want to make. But if you want to be able to have the youth grow up and be like somewhat normal, you can't be doing shit like that. And only the ignorant rappers are the ones that are doing that shit. Some of the other rappers, they know better, and it's not necessarily just rappers. You'll get country stars, you'll get R&B people, you'll get rock people, but I just never understood that type of mentality. Like, okay, you want to party, cool, but don't be doing it in front. Don't have kids that are like 4, 5, 6 years old, like walking around, at the party when there's like strippers everywhere and crazy stuff going on. But I guess when you're rich and you're famous, you just don't give a shit about anything. And then Cam definitely held his own. They tried to take him down. There was one guy that tried to do like a flying Roman Reigns punch that kind of connected after he was already throwing 3 guys around, but Cam definitely held his own. So people don't like him, and a lot of the guys are going to be non-Carolina Panther people. They're going to be Atlanta Falcon fans or Saints fans. Usually those are the guys that are going to go after Cam first. It'll be Falcon fans or Saints fans or just haters of him. But I think a lot of it has to do with Cam and his podcast, the way he talks, the way he dresses. And I think that not a lot of people really liked him in the NFL unless you were a Panther fan. Like, he obviously started the dab trend. So if you were a Panther fan, you fucking loved him. He was a football god to you. But if you weren't a Panther fan, not a lot of people, like I said, you maybe respected certain aspects of his game, but I don't think Cam was universally loved across the league. I think that a lot of people just honestly didn't like him. And, for me, I'm a Buccaneer fan, and we had to, have that rivalry with him and with Breeze and Matt Ryan. But, I wouldn't say that I ever got to a point where I hated Cam. But again, a lot of these people that are doing things to him are, Panther quote unquote supporters. or supposedly they were, but again, sometimes people do shit for clout, right? And they think, oh, maybe we can jump them and, and this and that. They probably didn't think that, that they would jump them and Cam would throw them around like a rag doll. So. But I think the way that Cam acts, outside of football, and the way he talks, the way he interviews, the way he podcasts, and the shit that he did for celebrating, that's why people don't like him. You know what I mean? Because of the way that he is. Kind of comes across a little entitled, better than everyone else, type of thing. And definitely a trendsetter with the dabbing and the dancing and the fashion. You know what I mean? But I think that the shit talking, can only get you so far. And when you're kind of known as a shit talker, or like a Draymond Green, if he's on your team, you love him. But if he's not on your team, you probably don't really give a shit about him. And I feel it's kind of that way. Same thing with like Patrick Beverly. If you have him on your team, right, you probably love him. But if you're going against him, you're like, fuck that guy, right? So I feel that that's a pretty good comparison. So, Pat Bev and Draymond and Cam are not going to be for everyone. Like I said, it's kind of like, and there's going to be fans of that particular organization that may not even like that particular person as much as the others, but ultimately, if you end up winning championships or having success like we did right there, bang, 1-1. Yeah, baby. There we go. All right, Jordan. Emily. I was about to say, we've been putting up this Bruin logo up for like a long time. We are due. We are due, baby. Jordan Hibberly. Let's go, Kraken. Let's go, baby. Before that goal, after that goal. Give him the boot. That's good for my mental health. Let's go. Good shit. Let's go, baby. Nice job, Jordan. Come on, baby. I got to make some adjustments here. Oh, Bjorky. Nice job, baby. We've been waiting for you. Sometimes it's got to not be the most popular player, someone that just can kind of get on a little bit of a run and get a little bit electric for us. Okay. We need that. Right. Joe Dirt's counting on you. All right. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Come on now. We're starting to bring the heat now. We're getting way more aggressive now. 11 shots on goal to 10 shots on goal. And then something like a switch flipped, within the first maybe 5 minutes of that second period where, it's like you got knocked down as a boxer and you're like, come on, man, you got to get up. You got to get up. And then we finally kind of dusted ourselves off. And then we just knowing that if we can just hold them to 3 goals or less, we can win this, even though they're a first place team. But once it goes over 3 goals, it's kind of like the Mariners. They got to get, 7 to 10 hits, 5 runs or more. And that was when we were batting 220 or 230 as a team. I'm hoping this year that if we can get to maybe 4 runs where we don't need as much to be able to win. And I want us to be better in 1-run games. So when it ends up being 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, I want to be on the winning end, not on the losing end like last year. And that'll help us try to get to 90 to 100 wins this year. Let's go. Hell yeah. And like I said, you can definitely tell a lot with body language. Uh-oh, we got a Kraken player down. Get up. Oh, we got a penalty. But, you can tell with the shoulder shrug and just the way that they're skating, and then like their facial expressions, and then the body language, how they're communicating with each other. And you can kind of tell when teams are still in it and they're still engaged, or they're just kind of going through the motions in sports. And I think everyone has watched a game in any sport where you don't maybe want to say like they quit, but you can kind of see it. And, even though you don't want to admit it to yourself, or, when we're watching it, but you can kind of, and maybe not every single person quit, but a lot, more than, half are kind of like, and when you get that feeling, that's when things go down the wire. So. Yeah. Well, I think some athletes, and also that's kind of like with Dawkins, from the Bills, he was talking about Jets players, and with like Quinnen Williams, he respects him because he loves football, but he's talking about like Garrett Wilson and Sauce, and a lot of these guys that, do you really love football, or do you love being popular? And so it's like, do you care more about IG photos and trying to be like famous that way, or do you actually like love football and love the game? And I kind of get it, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you get these players that play, in MLB, NBA, NHL, and not so much on the NHL side, because I don't really feel like NHL has divas. It's like they have like the elite players, Kucherov, Nathan McKinnon, all these guys, but I don't know if we really, Connor Bedard, Sidney Crosby, and Ovechkin. I don't really feel that anyone on the hockey side has to be braggy. It's already an amazing thing that you can fucking skate and score goals and fight and have the endurance. It's like, I don't really feel that they have to do anything to show off. It's not in their DNA or their personality. These Canadians and Americans and French Canadians and all these different Slovenians and Romanians and Russians. It's like, they don't need to. Like, they already got the swag. They don't need to show off. But as far as like NBA, MLB, and NFL, whether they're black, white, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Japanese, whatever, it just seems like in other sports, sometimes it's, it does kind of feel like some of the people, maybe they don't really love the game as much as others, that they are just trying to get like more, it's just like a game to them. Like, it's just a job, but they don't really care as much as some of the others. So 1-for-1 on that power play, baby. Yes. Yes, ma'am. I was about to say yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. 1-1. Yeah, but again, sometimes you can have fashion, but then it gets to a point like you're doing it for likes, and then it's like you're, trying to make a spectacle out of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, game is resumed. 11:28 left in the second period. Pasta with his 37th goal early in the first period, and then Jordan Eberle with the power play goal to knot it up 1-1. We have a chance. Energy is definitely has changed. Come on, baby. Power play goals for the season, 42 for the Bruins, 34 for the Kraken, 12 shots on goal for the Bruins, and they were up big on that category. It was like 10-2. Oh, and then all of a sudden a light switch got flipped, and then Kraken were just bang, 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 and now we're getting chippy. Fucking punch him in the face. 24 seconds left. 12 shots to 11 shots on goal. But I wish the Kraken could end up playing more physical. But again, a lot of people, whether you watch hockey often or not, it's not like baseball or basketball where you just have a starting five, for basketball, or you have your starting, group, your nine, or your 11 in football. Like, you have different lines of players. So, when you're going 5-on-5, you have a line of five. And that might not be the 5 best players. It's just the 5 best that work together in that line. And then you have another line, and then another line, and another line. So you might have, 3-4 lines that you're, going through. And then at some point you're going to shift players around and swap them from like one line to another to see if the chemistry and the vibe is better. Right. So I think a lot of times people don't realize just because the game starts, that doesn't mean that those are the 5 necessarily best 5 players on the ice for the entire team for that matchup. You'll typically have, I would say, 3, of maybe the top, but then there might be 1 or 2 that, there's like the guys that they're filling in strategy wise. Sometimes you'll have the 5 best, but I've seen, certain matchups this year where, I looked at a lineup and I said, you know what, that's not the best 5 guys in that first line. So you got to be able to, and it's also about endurance, so that's, you can't have just one line play a whole 60 minutes. I mean, you're going to get way too many, bodies getting dehydrated out there. Come on, baby. Capitalize. Let's go, Dunn. Oh, good defense. $12 shots apiece. Let's go. I always like that effort. And normally with the Kraken, it takes a while to be able to get caught up. So if it's like 11-2, maybe we can get to like 6 shots on goal. You don't expect them to rifle off, like 9 or 10, and then all of a sudden to get caught up in the game after getting dominated for, maybe the first 25 minutes of the matchup, 20 minutes in the first period and maybe the first 5 minutes of the second. But it's been all Kraken since then, and momentum has shifted. We're knotted up at 1. Let's go. It's like, you got to think as it like with chess, and the pieces that move. Sometimes you're going to want to make sure you have a good mixture, with the different lines and the different strategy, a defensive line, more of a scoring line, and being able to have the right players play together. Because as we know in hockey, some players play better together than others. And you can get magic if you can find the right combination. Or if you can have all your lines hit at the same time and then your goaltender is just lights out, then you're going to get some magic. Less than 9 minutes to go in the second period. We're knotted up at 1. Let's go. As long as we can limit Pasta. And Marchand. We got to watch out for Marchand because Marchand, if it's not Pasta, Marchand is usually the next one up. So. Yeah, but we'll be doing, I'll definitely try to do a couple attempts, with the NASCAR. We'll be doing a lot of Mariners and Dodgers, but I'm not going to be doing a lot of spring training because the games are on at like noon. It's just a shitty time slot. So once we get to like a 5 o'clock time slot, and if there's nothing really good on the NHL side and like the Dodgers are playing, yeah, maybe we'll end up doing that. But, I want to wait kind of more towards the regular season. And then we'll be doing flip-flopping between the Kraken and the Mariners. And then, some of the other matchups as well. Like tomorrow, we're going to do the Stars and the Avalanche because that's a fucking amazing matchup. Like, I can get up for that. That makes me excited. That's a playoff matchup. 2 great teams, a lot of great players, a lot on the line, and it's going to be fun. It's always fun when those 2 teams play. So, like, I can watch Vegas play all the time. I can watch the Devils play, the Bruins. So as long I can watch Kucherov with the Lightning. So as long as there's some superstars there or really good goalie play, yeah, I'm in. I'm invested. Yeah, true. But at the end of the day, you have to understand your first place. So you did the Dallas Cowboy thing last year where you were like really, really good. And at some points, number 1, best team in NHL, like number 1, like maybe we're going to go all the way. And then all of a sudden, you kind of hit a wall and then you either lose right away or in the, opening rounds. Right. And then you feel like this huge feel of like disappointment. Like, why did we, play so good? And then we got to this point, and if it wasn't injuries, just getting outplayed and whatnot. But it feels like maybe it could be different this year. But again, we're not even at the deadline yet, so we still have to wait to see what happens there. But I hope that you guys go further than you did last year. We don't want to have the Bruins become the Cowboys where they're like good every year and then they just end and exit early. I want to see you try to get to a Stanley Cup in the next 5 or 6 years, and they're pretty good, but again, the first place teams, it's really hard to predict on how things are going to shake out, and usually it's going to end up being a first, second, third, place team, and you're looking at all the quality players, and then you got to look at injuries, you got to look at depth, who's got good defensemen, who's got good forwards, and you can always look at who's got the best centers and the goal scorers, but then you got to go deeper, to see if, do you have one goalie or do you have two? You got two guys you can rely on. How is the coaching? Is the coach going to get fired? So I'm excited to see what we do on the deadline, like I am in any sport. So. $7:59 left in the second period. But I do like watching, like lower name players progress and get better, whether that be, players from Coachella that move up to play on the Kraken, or just like what we're seeing with the Mariners in spring training. A lot of these guys suck ass. Even the starters, some of them are playing like shit and they can't even get a hit yet. But again, it's early and you just want to, just try to be able to, get on to somewhat of a groove. And if you can get into a groove, sometimes that shit can carry over, like it did with Jared Kelenic last year, where he was like our only good player for the first 60 games because he was like the number one player in spring training last year. So sometimes stuff can carry over. And I'm hoping that we can have a similar Jared Kelenic effect with like Haniger. He homered at one of his first at-bats, which was awesome to see. Mitch is back. So I'm happy to see that. But this team is either going to be a lot better than people think, and our pitching staff is just going to be phenomenal, arguably the best in MLB, and we're going to win 90 to 100 games, or we're going to play like shit, and we're going to have runs throughout the season, and then maybe some injuries or bad pitching or hitting or a combination of the both, and maybe we end up missing the playoffs or being very close, and hitting that 80 to 88 win range, which is very likely impossible. I just hope that the latter of the two happens and we can get to 90 to 100 wins. And I don't even need 100. Shit, give me 90 to 92. Something over 90 would be great. But if we can get in with 89 wins, 88 wins, screw it. We do. It's 162. So, even going 100 wins, 62 losses doesn't guarantee that you're going to do anything. Mariners, we're at a point where we were a 115, 120 win type of team, and we still couldn't beat the Yankees. So I'll tell you what, that hurts. Imagine having a 162 win baseball season and going 120 and 42, 120 wins, 42 losses, and then just getting your ass kicked right away and this getting eliminated. That's what it felt like. And that's what happened. And you knew when, as a Mariner fan watching that never was going to happen again. Like in that group of players, like that was the one chance that we had to maximize the pitching and the hitting and the players we had to go all the way, or it was never going to happen. Like that was, it's either you either go and then it's like year 1 of 4 or 5, like an NFL team, like the Hawks or Niners, where you build, and you're dominant for 4 or 5 years. And then you got to rebuild a little bit and start over. Right. Or if you're a team like that, you got a lot of big name Hall of Fame players, but you couldn't really, get over the hump. It's like, we got Griffey, right? We got Randy Johnson, right? We got A-Rod, even though we don't count him. We got Edgar, right? Ichiro. We got no championships. We got no World Series, so, and now we got Julio. So we need to make sure that as we got some of these most distinguishable, honorable, likable legends, it doesn't get that much better than Griffey, Randy Johnson, Edgar, Ichiro, and now Julio. If you're just talking about 5 like goats, that's pretty fucking legendary if you ask me. I know my dad's got Dodger players, up to the Yahoo, and I'm a big Koufax guy, but man, hopefully, at some point in my life, on this channel, we can celebrate a Kraken trip to the Stanley Cup in the next 10 to 15 years. And hopefully in the next 10 years, we can celebrate a World Series opportunity, not necessarily win, but just at least to get there. And then hopefully a chance to win. Because I'm not sure, if you're a newer team, it is a possibility you can go the first time and win. But, with the Mariners and the Kraken, it may have to be the second time we get there is the time we win. It may not be the first time we make the Stanley Cup when we're really, really good. Maybe we're the underdog, and that's probably what will happen. If the Kraken make the Stanley Cup at any point, we're going to be the underdog. And if the Mariners make the World Series, I don't give a shit who it's against. We're the underdog. No one loves the Pacific Northwest. They always hate on us. So, and at some point, we're going to overachieve and we're going to win. And we're going to prove to all the doubters and the naysayers that, hey, look, we can get it done out here too. And we're not from California. So it'll be cool to see. It would be great if the Mariners and Kraken go to a World Series for the very first time and a Stanley Cup and they win the championship. Oh, I would be elated. But, maybe it might take that second opportunity. So let's get good now, so that way we can go to a couple in my lifetime, so we can all celebrate it together. If you are a Pacific Northwest fan, or if you got love for any of those teams or players in any kind of way. 5 minutes to go in the second period. We're knotted up at 1. I like our chances. The flow of this game, the body language, much better. It's like almost we wore the Winter Classics and we automatically thought we were going to win. Like, oh, we got the Winter Classics on. We won. Even though we knew it was a tough opponent. But it's just like, oh, we're going to play like we did when we had the shutout with DeCord outside. And we played the complete opposite of that. Now in this one, it's like, okay, we're 6th place team. Fuck it. But we're at home, right? Standard jerseys, looking fresh, looking clean. Boston's number 1 in the Atlantic. We know it. But, I mean, we did beat them in Boston, just a little while ago. So what makes us think that we can't, play up to the competition? I like our chances. 17 shots on goal for the Bruins, 12 for the Kraken. We were down 10 shots, 11 shots to 1 or 2. Now we got it kind of close. It was knotted up at 12. They've gotten 5 additional shots, but most of them have been kind of garbage. $30 hairs. Let's get to a hundo. Yeah. All I know is that wherever Bowers and Jackson Powers go, regardless of what team they go to, I'll be watching. And chances are, if Bowers goes to a good offense and a good team, he might be a fantasy dream like Laporta. It'll give that person in fantasy that never gets a tight end that they might, go Bowers, like, if they pick late and they get someone, and then he might end up being a top 5, top 10 tight end, which we hope, right? And then if you get Jackson Powers, it's just going to be like Penei Sewell. The impact might even be higher than Penei Sewell, because when you play center, and if you end up being All-Pro, Pro Bowl, or Hall of Fame, you are literally calling the protections with the quarterback. You are the most important. You are the most important person on that line besides the left tackle if you're a right-handed quarterback, or a right tackle if you're a left-handed quarterback. And honestly, I actually prefer a center as being, to me, is the most important, even over a guard or a tackle. Guard and tackles are a dime a dozen. Centers that are elite, really rare. And especially centers that can pull. I love intelligent centers as well. So, and Jackson Powers arguably is not only a great center for Oregon, but arguably the best center we've ever had. And to get the Remington is a big deal with the award. And I think that he will be, as long as he doesn't have any significant injuries, just like Penei Sewell, you could kind of feel that, hey, maybe these are Hall of Fame players. And that's really cool to see coming from the Ducks, when everyone we make fun of us with all our quarterbacks not being able to make it to the NFL and succeed, just like Ohio State. And we're both trying to change the narrative of Ohio State quarterbacks and Oregon quarterbacks, and I'm here for it. But not every guy is going to be able to turn it around. You're going to get some Justin Fields, type of guys. But then for every Justin Fields, then we know, hey, there's a CJ Stroud, right? And then for every Marcus Mariota that maybe didn't pan out, right? Maybe a Justin Herbert will come along and find the right, squad and to find the right situation. So And it's okay to be a college legend. And if not everyone's going to be a Pro Bowl, All Pro, Hall of Fame player. But I'll tell you what, when you end up getting some from your favorite college team, it feels good. It feels damn good. You're like, okay, like at least I'm getting guys that are being somewhat successful, not just starters in the NFL. Like, who gives a shit if you're starting in the NFL? We want guys that come from our schools to be beast mode, right? To be some of the best players on planet Earth, Like, imagine, you're seeing Drake London and you're seeing, some of the guys, from USC, and then now seeing like Amon-Ra. Like, there's got to be a thing, because they've had guys in the past with like Keyshawn and a few others, but I feel like the wide receivers with Michael Pittman Jr., Drake London, and Amon-Ra. Damn it, Pasta. 2-1 Bruins. Damn it. I feel like USC's receivers are, you're starting to see like Ohio State wide receiver comparison, and when you start to see that, the talent level gets raised, and you start to see, players kind of change the mold, and like, look at, like, we're starting to get better here. And once you establish yourself as a school that develops that position, more and more people, pay attention to the games for that reason. Not only like us on the channel, but scouts and people in general that are evaluators, and that way you can kind of, oh, okay. Because like, if you look at the reputation of like Sarah's Iowa, team with tight ends, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, almost every tight end that comes out of Iowa turns into a Hall of Famer. What? Like, that is insane, but that's cool. It's like Dallas Clark, amazing. George Kittle, amazing. TJ Hawkinson, amazing. Oh, Sam Laporta, amazing. And we're not just saying good or elite, we're saying amazing, So every time you can have something like that happen, it's cool to see guys pan out. Thibodeau, looks like he's the real deal. Like, obviously, I feel off the field and on the field, he's made some immature choices as a young player, injuring the quarterback and doing like the snow angel thing, whether he knew he injured the quarterback or not. That is not anything that we teach here in the Pacific Northwest or Oregon. So that might be the only negative thing that we've seen on Thibodeau, for Kayvon. But obviously, going from what he was early on to what he is now, he's a sack machine. Like, and sometimes it takes a year or two to get your rhythm to be able to be that guy that gets 10 to 20 sack lunches every year. You might start off with a 2 or a 3 or a 6, and people are like, you suck, you're a bust. But then the next year or the year after, if you can hit 8 or 9 or 10 and progress, and then sometimes it just clicks, and then you get, you turn into the player that you were at college, but now you can do it in the pros. But you just had to recognize that, hell, the offensive linemen are as fast as me, and I used to be the fastest off the line. So now Thibodeau's, realizing that, and honestly, he's one of the more enjoyable players to watch on the Giants. Giants are terrible to watch unless Saquon's playing and he's balling, or Thibodeau on the other side, and that's pretty much it. So, unless you're a Danny Dimes fan, but you know what I mean. But also, too, with like the wide receivers and how we view them, it also is a little bit of luck with the player who's the quarterback, the coach, the play caller, and the organization. Because if you get drafted to a good situation, you can get amazing numbers like the Detroit Lions, or you could be like the Atlanta Falcons and Shep's team, right? And kind of be discombobulated and kind of like disorganized. And then you have like all these amazing, how the fuck, right? How the fuck? All right, you have Matt Ryan and Julio and all those guys in the past, but how the fuck? All right, you Ritter, Heineke from Heineke, fine. You missed on Ritter. That wasn't going to be the guy anyways, but you went for Matt Ryan, obviously got old, moved on, right? But how do you get Bajan, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Cordarrelle Patterson, Algier, all these amazing, 2 good offensive linemen, PFF, two top linemen, at the top of their class, 2 out of the 5. So offensive line is not a concern. You can keep adding to it, but how many NFL teams have 2 really good offensive linemen or more? Not many, right? How the fuck you got all that and you don't get anybody the damn ball? Bajan doesn't get the ball. Like, you're supposed to use him like a bell cow. What happened? Drake London is very capable. Kyle Pitts, you didn't draft him that high just to sit there and block. So it shows you, like, imagine if Kyle Pitts, right, And Drake London and Bajan were on the Lions. We're talking about those players on a whole nother level then. Kyle Pitts is Sam Laporta. And we're like, damn, Kyle Pitts is George Kittle. But again, sometimes you got to wait or pray that your organization gets the right piece in there. So, like, getting Justin Fields in Atlanta ain't going to solve the fucking problem. It'll put butts in the seats, and it'll be cool to see. But if you don't think Justin Fields is good enough to win the Super Bowl with your team, why are you fucking paying him? Keep looking. There's going to be someone in this year's draft, next year's draft, another free agent that will be just as good as Justin Fields or better. You just have to be patient. So we'll see how all that shakes out. 2-1 Bruins. That Pasta. He's like, I'm trying to go for a what? A hat trick. God damn it, Pasta. Why you got to do that to me, Pasta? 2-1 Bruins. He's fun to watch. I just don't like it when he's dominating against us. All right, I got to swap the Kraken logo. All right, we got to go Kraken open. Kraken closed. Kraken open. We're open for business. We got to do something here. "21 shots on goal for Boston." They decided to really go ham on us here. So we had a good 9-minute stretch in the second period where we were on, and then momentum shifted right back. And again, when you get a player on your favorite team or on a team that you can see, and they lead in all the categories, scoring, assisting, and goals, it's a triple threat like Pasta and some of the other elite players in the NHL. That's when you know the team, if they have good goaltending, they're probably beast mode, because if that player ends up being a top 10 or top 12 player, or higher, you got good goaltending, and, and everything's kind of flowing. That's when because the teams that end up having like a different player for each category, that's when those teams aren't as good. It seems like some of the high-end teams that usually have one guy for three, or you might be very well-rounded where you have a different guy for each, but you're so well-rounded because that's who you are, like the Vegas Golden Knights. Like Vegas Golden Knights got fucking a bajillion players that are good. It's like all their guys are, huge. Defensemen are huge. All the guys are athletic. They have super depth. They don't have to be the number one team in the NHL for people to, kind of fear them. They have been exposed a little bit this year, and they have gotten their ass kicked a few times this year in a few games. But at the end of the day, if they get into the playoffs, they got a good enough of a chance as anybody to do some damage out there. But that would probably be the best example I could say is, as far as having not a guy with all three, but they could have three different, Marchessault, Stone, and all. I mean, God, they got so many good players on that team. We'll have to do, again, Vegas tomorrow against the Maple Leafs. We're not going to do that, but I will watch that. Austin Matthews, I see you, Stone, Marchessault. But we are going to do Stars and Avalanche, and it's going to be awesome. And we're going to have a chance for maybe like a 6-3, 6-4 game, something like that, I hope. Could be. End of the second period, 2-1 Bruins. If Pasta was contained, we'd be fine. Pasta, bring in the heat. We got Eberle. We got at least something, but not enough. All right, let me know what you guys want to do for photos. I'm going to do a couple more pastas for Judah. We're going to make sure we're doing that. I mean, he is. And like I said, me just being able to have a connection, and then, let alone with the, you and this team. And then it gives me more of a reason to pay attention to them, to watch them, to stream them. So I like being able to, have those connections with you guys on the channel. And then again, once I know that someone loves something, a little piece of me starts to love it too. I don't have to be, as much of a fan as Judah, but I can go out of my way to see what's going on, check scores, do streams here and there and enjoy it. Ooh, grew 2-1. So I wanted him to hold it to 3 goals or less. We're on pace, but can we tie it up? That's the question. I don't think that Boston will get 4 or more. At least I hope not. But Pasta, we have an answer for Pasta. He's like, man, that Pasta guy, he's fucking good. Yeah, he is. We'll have to figure it out. Come on, baby. All right, let me get some Pasta photos up. And Fields also needs a true number one receiver. I need Fields. I mean, DJ Moore, is sometimes plays like a top 10, but I think I need a top, 8 like name. I need a name recognition wide receiver. Fields to AJ Brown, Fields to Mike Evans, like a big name guy. And if I can get Fields to a big name guy, or Fields to like Jay Jetta or Amon Ra, something like that, then we're going to finally be able to see if Fields can actually make the throws, and that's really what's going to be needed. Offensive line, you're going to need that. The better running back that you can have, the better he's going to be. And also, if you can have two of them, a bruiser back like a David Montgomery, and also an electric back like Gibbs, that would be very helpful for Fields. Good offensive line, a good check down tight end, and a true number one receiver. And also a guy that could go across the middle, because obviously we know Fields has problems with deep throws and intermediate. So you're going to need a check down guy and a guy on an audible too. So it's like Fields is like one of those guys I feel like right now that he's like in the top 15 or 16 quarterbacks, but it's going to go one or two ways. He's either going to turn into a top 10, top 12 quarterback, right? Or he's always going to be 15, 16, 17, sometimes a 13, and then, an 18. He's never, it's always going to be up and down, but never consistent enough to be considered top 10. And even if you ended up going to the Niners, I don't think he's good enough to win a Super Bowl with them, so... And that's, I'm not trying to hate. I just think that he has some skills, but until I see how he works, with the true number one, that will determine, I guess, my final output for him. I need to look at the OC. I need to look at the offensive line. Is he getting help with the run blocking? Are the running backs good? And then what kind of arm can you, what kind of leadership am I going to get from you? Because I feel with Fields, like, I'm not sure if you got enough leadership for me. Like, I feel like you're a flashy player, but flashy player doesn't mean you're going to win a Super Bowl or even win an NFC or AFC championship game. So it can put butts in the seats, but, we want more than that. It's like Mariners, we want to put more than butts in the seats. We're trying to win it all. But it seems like ownership is okay with just profiting every year, off all the beers and, ice cream helmets and nacho helmets that they sell. So. Yeah, but I wish we had enough people to do NASCAR. I would do NASCAR every race. I love it. Like, I love it. And like, I need something on Sundays. That's a big part of it too. Because like I said, if I don't want to watch college basketball and I don't want to watch NBA, and then what happens on the MLB side, if it, something's not on, I need something to carry my NFL love. Like, I need that time slot. I need something to be there, and NASCAR fills that for me. I got a need for speed. Yeah. Well, the momentum went Boston, Seattle, Boston. So, I mean, it's either Pasta is going to end up getting a hat trick, right? And things are just going to keep advancing, and we're going to end up losing 4-2, right? Or, we're going to be able to fight it out somehow, some way, right? And then maybe we can tie it up 2-2, and then maybe the winner is 3-2, either at the end of the third period or in overtime. Shootout, but we beat you guys in Boston, so you guys are trying to get payback, and we're the sixth place team. You're a first place team, so we're not really trending in the right direction, but we'll see. Yeah, I like being able to, meet people and to be able to fall in love with something new. So it gives me another purpose in life. to be able to follow vicariously through you guys, through your favorite teams and players. I already got enough on my plate with the shit that I follow, but it just gives me extra incentive to think about you guys in my spare time when I'm spending time with Paisley, to do the extra research and the extra film study and the extra streams for you guys to be able to connect with you guys on that level and to understand, what you guys like and, and your favorite things. It's awesome. But it's not awesome. 2-1, and both are from Pasta, unless you're Judah. Winter Classic. That one came out good. Yanni. Woo! Let's go, baby. Crew. I gotta get one that has hockey goaltender masks. I anything with that. I mean, because they're always so colorful. But the trick is when you're trying to implement them from like Photoshop type programs, a lot of the times they don't convert because they get distorted somewhere. So looks good. I'll have to get a Joy Decord one. Remember to take care of your mental health. Even the strongest people can be fragile. I feel like I'm pretty strong most of the time, but when I get to a point where I feel I'm a little fragile, I know it, and I make sure that I do certain things to get myself not feeling that way. Change what I'm watching, listen to some music, spend some quality time with Paisley, go outside, exercise, change my diet, check up on a friend, watch something from my childhood to make me smile from the 80s or 90s, a cartoon or a TV show or a movie. You got to be able to know yourself. And if you know yourself, you're going to know what puts you in the gutter and what can get you out of the gutter. If you go through those things, and we have triggers and bad habits. And sometimes when you do certain things, you're going to go, into a nosedive. So you stay away from certain things, like maybe not boozing it up all the time, and then your life can improve. And I think a few of us in the room, our lives have improved quite a bit. Now, I've never been an alcoholic, thank God, but I can, drink and be fine. Like I said, but again, it costs money, and I'd rather spend that money on beers than spend it on Paisley than to do that. Now, I know a lot of y'all would love to see O-Dog buzzed and drunk, but there'll be times for that. But Paisley, I got to make sure she's got stuff like I got a vet visit coming up next month. So obviously, once we get to that point, I'll have some donos for that, and then I imagine that's going to be probably like $150-$200. She's got to get a couple of shots, and then they'll do all the regular vet work, which is not going to be cheap. But overall, Paisley stuff is super expensive. Like if you actually have a cat or a dog, you get it for like greenies. You buy a box, you might get like 8 a bag, and it's like $20. I try to buy this like teeth cleaning, plaque removing powder. If you can't brush a teeth of a cat or a dog, and you can sprinkle it on the food, and it'll help with the plaque and the tartar and give the fresh breath. It's $35 a month for a powder in a jar that's like this big. So sometimes it's like, I have to grind extra hard, just to make sure that, Paisley can, be taken care of. Or if I have to buy, other than my bills, like, Paisley's dog food, $80 to $83. Like, fuck. So it's like when you have those light days and streams, you're just like, oh man, it's like, I don't need to become rich. I just need to make sure I can be a provider, and take care of Paisley, and then be able to, have enough for, the internet and to keep the dream moving, And then once we get bigger donos and more goats and a bigger volume, then we can go back to how we were doing it before, where I can give jerseys away for gifts and other things. That's actually the funnest time for me. It's like someone giving me a $500 dono, and then I go right back and I buy them a $250 jersey. I mean, how many streamers would do something like that? There's a few, but not every single one would. There'd be a lot that'd be like awesome, and sometimes you're going to need the money, but sometimes when the money is not a factor and you want to be able to show that love and appreciation, I love being able to do stuff like that.
especially if someone doesn't own something, like they've never had a Mitchell and Ness, or they've never had a quality stitched jersey before, and then I can kind of like be the person to help them achieve a goal or a dream. Like knowing that, of course, they want it, but they can never foreseeable see themselves spending like $350 for a jersey. I mean, some of us will do it, and some of us have, right? But not all of us are on the same level as far as money and jerseys. Some of us are going to go for screen print only. Some of us are just going to go with like the t-shirts and the hoodies because the shit is too expensive. And some of us are just going to, if we have the money, we're spending it, and we're going to go after it. So those are the people that I like to, like for me, if we ever can get some like crazy stuff. I mean, there's so many people that I would love to be able to give back, but we got, Matt with the duck chain, and hopefully I can get some more duck stuff sent, to him. But like for Elliot, to be able to get him like a Padres, jersey, down the road, I think would be cool. It's like you're a Saints fan, and a Saints jersey, that's something he can buy on his own, but to be able to do something like that, those are the type of things that I think about, like, or getting something, like Matt, like some kind of duck jersey that he has no access to. And I only have access to it here in Oregon besides, the duck store. And of course, you can find stuff on eBay for jerseys, but when you go to eBay, you have to understand that there's going to be a lot of fakes on eBay. So if you're okay buying a fake Stone jersey on eBay for a cheaper price, fine. And it's probably going to look, pretty authentic to most, and, there's only going to be a couple things that are going to be a little off. But again, I mean, do you want that sewn feel, or do you want to have a screen print authentic for the same price? Everyone, kind of goes it about their own way. So, and shit, there's nothing wrong, with the fake stuff. I mean, especially back in the day, like if you could get, let's say $100 screen print that's authentic, right? And then there's a, knockoff Stone jersey, right? For like 100 to 120, like essentially the same price, but it's a knockoff, but it's sewn, and at least the numbers and the nameplate, at least that looks like good to go. And normally it's like the arm patch is usually the one that's kind of fucked up, but I mean, it all depends, But I would love to be able to give back. Yeah, and I don't. It's not an emergency. It's not an emergency vet thing. But again, there's. I have the paperwork here. But again, it's like it's the initial visit, and normally you're spending over $100 on a visit typically, right? So, and then obviously if they're doing administrating 2 different shots that she needs at the early stage of her life, that we have to get done. So I imagine there's obviously going to be a cost for that. And they'll weigh her and do all that. So. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be, but if I had to take a guess, I would assume it's going to be like 150 to 200. I hope it's not over 200. Holy cow. It's like, I get it. If she ends up having some kind of injury, then, vet bills can be super expensive, but I'm hoping less than $200. I'm hoping it's, I'm hoping it's fucking under $100, but I understand vets, they do amazing things and they do deserve to get paid well. So I'm assuming 150 to $200. So, and that'll be in March. So that'll be something that we can work together, and hopefully that we'll be able to get that done. Because again, I don't need to really buy. I have plenty of clothes. I have plenty of jerseys. I have plenty of toys. Sometimes as a collector or a picker, you get these modes where you got a lot. And you got no business on buying anything new, but it's just the collector in you, and then you end up, going to a garage sale, or you end up going on to a card shop, or you go to whatever, website, and then you end up, purchasing some kind of collectible because, you just have the itch. But for me, it's like I got plenty. And as long as I got them like displayed in front of me and I can see them, like I should actually just start displaying everything on my walls. But then like all my walls would be covered, which would actually be fucking awesome and whatnot. So, but I got plenty of stuff on like coats and on the dresser. Like next to me, I got Stone Cold Steve Austin Japanese figure that comes with multiple heads, 4, multiple sets of hands, 3 or 4, belt, and comes with beer and beer coming out of the beer can where he can slam the beer like in the famous pose, and even has the middle finger. Right? Amazing. I mean, as far as wrestling figures are concerned, it's my favorite. I got a Clyde Drexler McFarlane in the package sitting there. I got a WCW Randy Macho Man Savage and Hollywood Hogan NWO with belt still in the package. Not very many people own WCW figures. It's almost 99% of people own WWF. So that's the reason I got it a long time ago. I got Darth Maul, Black Series in the package, multiple heads, right? Awesome. And then I got miniature Coke machines that open up that have Dale Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr. cars like Hot Wheels inside of them. And then I got all kinds of Mariner bobbleheads and wrestlers, Scott Hall, Hot Wheels from the 70s and the 80s, Lego vehicles from the 80s. Life is good. 2-1 Boston. Yes, I do. Yeah, like I said, I still need to do shoes. I need to get Kraken beanie from Megan. Donos end up helping me to get shoes from Megan and Reflect and others. But yeah, a lot of times what's unfortunate is that like when I'm at a point where I'm like, yes, okay, I'm ready to get shoes, and then all of a sudden the internet bill comes out or something, and I'm like, oh shit, or some other bill comes out. I was like, oh fuck, I wasn't expecting that, and that's always gonna. Or Paisley has something. Then my thing has to take a back seat. It's like, yes, I need to have shoes, but as long as my toes aren't hanging out, if Paisley needs medicine or whatever, like she's going to be the priority. So, but I'm looking at the collection is a big part of my mental health, and also like rearranging and then finding new stuff. Like sometimes it's just good. I can go into the garage and I can just open up a random box that's not labeled, and I don't know what the fuck is in there. Starting lineups, McFarlane's, Walking Dead, Transformers, Star Wars, Ghostbusters, He-Man, Skeletor. I mean, who knows what's in there? Matchbox, Hot Wheels. I mean, it's literally Toys R Us, and that's exciting. That's the coolest thing about being an OG collector. If you're a little bit older like me and Megan and a few of the others that are in the room, it's like when you have that eye for the collectibles, if it's a part of who you are. And as long as you can manage your budget and you don't go crazy with it. But again, it's like investing in McFarlane starting lineups, bobbleheads, Funkos, or gambling. What's going to be better off? Gambling, you might hit and you might be able to get rich, but most of the time you ain't going to be stacks on stacks. You're probably going to be losing. So that way, if you end up getting like collectibles, right? If you end up getting like cards or comics or toys, right? At any point, if you need money, you can sell them. So, an investment. You have to just make sure that the things that you invest in are desirable. What a save! Oh my God, save of the year! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What a mug! Oh my God! Oh my! Straight up. Yes. That Bills boo. That Bills boo. Paisley, my love, yay. Just to see the transformation of when I had her, when I was living with my ex and having her 20 pounds lighter, healthier, happier. Nothing makes my heart feel that, just. Save. Oh my! I might have to throw up a photo for just that save. That was incredible. But I'm hoping that it's not too much. Let's go, baby. 2-1 Bruins. Pasto with 2 goals. We just got to prevent the hat trick. Bandits is 56. Damn. Yeah, mine's 80 to 83. But again, it's like I don't get the, just I had to do a lot of research, based off the breed of dog that she is, go through the brands. Then I had to go through the ingredients. And, I have to treat it like Faja. I am the Faja. I am the dog Faja. So I have to be the best dog Faja as I can be. I have to give her the best that I can. And I just noticed with a lot of the stuff that's like chicken and beef, it has like a lot of dogs can be like allergic, or it's not really as good for them. So if you can find something that has like more like lamb or like rice based on salmon or like lamb, usually those cost a little bit more, but it does wonders. It's a lot better. And plus, also going into superfoods and making sure that the dog does not eat just dog food, processed food. You got to make sure that the dog breed can eat, like fruits and vegetables at some point in their life. Yeah, that's going to cost more money in your life, but they deserve it. They don't deserve to be crunching away at just some pellets. You got to hook them up with the strawberries and the blueberries, and they got to know what peanut butter tastes like. The yum yum. They got to live too. For every day of us living is a week for them. So I want to make sure she's living her best life, or her best week, for every day of my life. 2-1 Bruins. All right. Well, the game starts at 4. When we start to stream, that game is going to be over. So we'll be live at 6:30 tomorrow. That game starts at 4 Pacific. Avalanche and Stars is at 6:30 Pacific. So, and good luck with the Maple Leafs. I hope they win. I'd love to see Matthews get a hat trick tomorrow, or at least a goal or two. We already know hat tricks are really fucking tough. Allmark is crazy right now. We would be ahead right now, 3-2, if Allmark wasn't on a heater right now. 8:30. Woo! Yeah, that's why it's always good to be able to help each other out. It's like when my friend's dog was going to die, and they had to raise money for it. We raised money here on the channel, and I ended up giving him like $1,200. I've never given away $1,200, let alone usually more than 100 or whatever. So to give away, and then to be able to, because the dog was like having blood problems, and it just, it's like if you're peeing blood or you're a dog and you're not going to make it in a couple weeks, I'm going to do whatever I can to be able to, and even if that means that those people may have not have done something like that for me, but just knowing that a family member for them is going to be alive, and then the surgery was successful, and the surgery was expensive too. It was like $4,000. My buddy had to sell a lot of his graded card collection, which he had one of the best graded card collections I've ever seen. Tom Brady rookies graded, Kobe's rookies graded, some stuff autographed. I mean, the guy had a monster collection. So for him to sell a lot of those, I know that hurt, but again, to be able to, keep a family member alive, you'll do it. And so he had about half of it, and then we raised the other half. We raised another, 2,000 here in a matter of like a week. That was huge. So I know the channel can do amazing things. Two-one Bruins. Come on, baby. 21 shots on goal for the Bruins, 20 for the Kraken. But I'll tell you guys what, when I first started off in the channel, my mental health was fine. I didn't have any mental health problems or issues, but as you grow and you go through things like COVID, right? And then obviously grinding, 10 years to make it full time. and then having it be like a full-time job. You'll go through the ups and the downs, but I really do appreciate the friendships and the connections that we've been able to build on the channel. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X. But for the mods and the regulars, even if it ends up only being an hour to 3 hours a day, or a few times a week, or if it's an everyday thing for some of y'all, big save. It really does help me a lot, and I hope it helps you guys a lot too. Like, not only me being able to entertain and to be able to, pull up photos for you guys and to be able to bring you guys a room and a space where we can all vibe together. That's a big thing. You don't have to come here just for me. You can come here for the people that are in the chat. Almost 2-1 Bruins. We've had like 4 really good quality opportunities where we could have been up right now, like legit. We could be up right now 4-2 or even 3-2 or tied up. But Allmark just going crazy. Good saves, but we're aggressive. But we just have to find a way to sneak one in there or get one off a rebound. 30 doll hairs, 70 to go. Boom! 2-2 Kraken. Crack-a-lackin', baby. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Vince Dunn, assisted by Andre Burakovsky and Yannick Ford. 2-2. We're knotted up, baby. Let's go. Close Kraken. Bowie loves it. Let's go. Fuck yeah. Think about that, Chris. Hey, I fucking love that shit. Bowie loves it. Farley loves it. Let's go, baby. Good shit. What a comeback. Playing with purpose. Nice job, Vince. Ta-ta. And even though I love football and I love wrestling, I really do appreciate what NHL hockey brings, what MLB baseball brings, and what NASCAR brings in my life while I'm waiting for football to come back. Like, I need that shit in my life. I mean, if your mental health is fucked, like, you can eat better, exercise, spend time with a pet, listen to music, and get out with friends. And, there's a lot of things you can do. I mean, I've had really bad depression and anxiety and, you go through it. But, to be able to have something that you can get excited for and look forward to every day to give you a reason to wake up, and if you don't like your job or your current situation or relationship, you got to be able to have those other things to be able to look forward to. Like when I can watch fucking Brandon Tanev Turbo beat the fuck out of someone, I can look forward to that. Gru getting back on track, I can look forward to that. I appreciate it. Let's go, Hack. Need this. We're knotted up at 2, baby. Yes, sir. Let's go. You made an adjustment with the line with Burakovsky. I like it. Things look like it's working at. Let's go. All right, commercial break. Stay strong, brother. You're going to be the reason that we win. It's 3 goals or less. You've given up a goal per period. If you can keep it at 2, we're winning. We're winning 100%. But if it goes to 3, I mean, at that point, I don't know about a shootout or what our chances are in overtime. Probably not a very good overtime record. So if we're going to win this, we need to win this in regulation. Let's find a way. But we'll give some love to the Bruins and Pasta. He said, fuck that. I'm going for the hat trick. And if he gets it, would I be surprised? No, I would not. And that's why they're on the thumb. Let's go. Come on, Vince. Let's go. John in the building. I've been watching Cardinal baseball. Give me an update. Because I know you're the type of person that, will watch spring training. Or at least, tap in. Whoa, Grew with a big save. Yeet. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. You know what? Not a Grew. Grew got his job back. Grew was doing shitty. Then, everyone was on the Joey DeCord train, including myself. Love me some Joey. Joey got fucked up last game, got pulled. Now, if we can find a way to win this, tonight, it'll be the third straight solid start from Grew, and we might be leaning towards, going with him the rest of the way as the main goalie, and I would be okay with that. Even as good as DeCord was early on, as in hockey and in sports, it's what are you doing for me right now? Like, yeah, you were good 2 weeks ago, but how are you playing now? And you have to be able to take that in consideration when you're sixth in the Pacific, and Boston is a first-place team in the Atlantic. One team is going to the playoffs, the other is dreaming. But it's not impossible. But we got to get wins like this if we want to get in. Marchand, can't have him score. Can't have the hat trick happen with Pasta. Right away. Let's go. I'm going to give Boston some love here, but not too much. We'll give the logo because we're not going to hate. Go on, baby. All right, we need how many more? 2 more likes to get to 15. If you haven't liked the stream yet, please do. It helps us with the algorithm. The people that are watching on Twitter/X, if you could help out as well, that would be great. It takes 1 second, and it'll definitely help us out. Anything that we can get over 20 on every stream, it definitely will help the algorithm. Yeah. Seattle has these moments, it's like the Mariners where, once in a while we'll look like one of the best teams in the sport, but it's not going to be for very long, but there will be like little stretches where we look really good. Like everything is just clicking. But again, consistency and longevity is the key. You got to be able to be consistently good and you be consistently good all the time. And when you're young or don't have the right combination of players, or you're just not there yet as a team, you're going to go through your ups and downs, but I don't like seeing the Kraken in fucking 6th place, though. I'll tell you that. Well, we got power play here, baby. I was hoping that we weren't going to get blown out. We got blown out in the Winter Classics, but I thought, if Grew can give up 3 or less, and he's on pace to do that, we're going to have a shot. If they get, like I said, 2-3 goals in the first period and we're at 0, we're fucked. Like just the way that, the games have typically gone. You get down 3 goals in the first period, how many teams are coming back? Not many. And if you do come back, you're probably one of the top 5 teams in the NHL because you would have to have that mindset, like, we're not going to die and roll over for anyone. Screw you guys. We're the Avalanche, or we're Vegas, right? We're Dallas, or we're Boston. We'll come back from anything. But with the Kraken, it's like you get down 3-0. Yeah. Like, what's tomorrow's game? Mariners get down 5-0 in the first inning. You're like, oh, fuck. Like you already know, like there might be a run, But just mentally, 5-0 in the first inning feels like 10-0. And you're like, Jesus, man. And then that ultimately means that your pitcher sucked. So you want your pitcher to go 6-7 innings. He might get pulled in the first, second, or third. And that's what makes you feel that you're going to lose because then everyone is pitching earlier. Then you have to rely on the bats to come alive. Oh, another save, another save. Get it in there. Oh, so close. Oh, my God. It's crazy. I mean, we're just going crazy. That's stick work. I mean, we're just trying to get in there. 1, 2, 3, off a rebound, off a rebound, off a rebound. It's like on a missed basket, and you got power forwards and centers going up, trying to get that tip dunk or that tip in. Bang, 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 bang. But eventually, I mean, if you get 1 or 2 players near a goalie, right, and you can get a rebound to bounce off the goalie, you might be able to get 4 shots on goal in a matter of like 10 seconds. So, and if that happens, you're scoring. I don't give a shit who it is. Goalie's not going to block 4 shots from 2 different players in a matter of 10 to 12 seconds, bouncing off his chest or his glove or his face mask, right? I like our chances right now. Let's go. And again, with the Kraken, we don't have a superstar player, compared to like Nathan McKinnon or like a Pasta. We don't have that guy. I mean, they drafted Maddie to be that guy, but we don't really. And Bjorkstrand made the All-Star game. But to me, when I watch this team, we just have a lot of guys that are good, but we don't really have a superstar yet. And once the Kraken get their superstar at center, if that's what they decide to do, or if it ends up being a forward or a defenseman or whatever, but an impact guy, you're going to know it. But until then, or maybe they'll need a couple of those, to take the bar to the next level. Superstar center, if it's not someone that's already on the team now that develops there, like Maddie, and then getting other players that are just, Geeky with the goal, 3-2 Bruins. Fuck. Nice job, dude. All right, our turn. I'm okay. We can swap goals back and forth. Morgan Geeky is leveling up, huh? Geeky, are you leveling up? Are they challenging? Interference? Oh, they are challenging. Challenging. What do we think? Legit or no? I need to see a couple more replays. All right, Geeky, you are thriving. All right, let's look. Let me look. I mean, there is a collision with the goalie, but I mean, anytime you end up having a collision with a goalie, it should be under review, right? Because whether you get a goal or you get a goal scored on you or you get one, I mean, you got to have some kind of clarification based off the rule, right? This is a big review for momentum. But even if they let it stand, right, I think the Kraken can come back and get a goal and go 3-3, and we can go to overtime and then probably lose, but, we'll see. But if they take it back, then I'm not sure if we have enough momentum at this point to. This is a big call. I mean, he's got his legs. I mean, he's like literally hugging him. You know, I mean, there is nowhere where he can go. Left leg, right leg, Gru. I mean, Gru's in the middle. I mean, where was he going to go? Of course, Kraken fans are going to be like, yeah, that's definitely interference because they're Kraken fans. But yeah, no goal or goal. You say no goal, huh? Well, I think most people are saying that it is interference. Like I feel it's like 70-30, that it was interference, that the goal will be taken back. But I mean, if they want to keep it, I'm okay. I ain't crying, bitching, moaning. I feel that we got to be able to fire back and get one here in the next 8 minutes. But I mean, just be consistent with your call. If you're going to call it this way and they have it has it stand, then just make sure that you're keeping it consistent on our end if we have a play like that or similar. I think that's all you can ask for as a fan. Just keep it consistent. If you're going to call it one way or another, you're going to call bullshit calls, keep it consistent. You're going to call it chippy or you're going to call it soft, keep it consistent both ways. I don't give a shit if it stands, really, honestly. Normally I would, but the flow of this game has shown that when one team scores, the other team fights back. So there would be a good probability of us tying it 3-3, even if this stands. It probably wouldn't be right away, but 8 minutes to get one more to go to OT. I'd like our chances with that. Let's see what they say. Coming back. 2-2. The funny thing is that when that happens, typically like momentum is like, oh shit, momentum has shifted. We're going to win now. But like the way that the game flow has gone, it kind of still feels, to me that Boston will score another goal shortly. It's like sometimes you get those gut feelings. You're playing a great team. The Kraken is a sixth place team in the Pacific. Boston is a first place team in the Atlantic. They got their goal taken away. Boo fucking who? Like they're just going to score another one, and if they get one with Pasta, it'll be a hat trick. So it's like and if it's not Pasta, right? Who could it be after him? You already know who. So we will see. Most of the time, a goal gets taken off the board. You're like, all right, momentum. We're going to score. We're going to win. But Boston they're stingy. Low scoring game, and we beat them the first time around. Come on, baby. 25 shots on goal for the Bruins, 23 for the Kraken, and it was a 10-2 to start off the first period. So Seattle had their moments. Come on, Tata. This is big for us. Wide right. Come on, baby. Come on, Bjorky. Someone's got to be a fucking hero. It doesn't have to be a guy that scores every game because we don't even have one of those kind of fucking players. We don't got a Nathan McKinnon. We don't got a Kucherov. We don't have players like that. Hopefully one day we will, or Maddie will turn into that player, but it's got to be like a different guy every day. And that's just the grinded out type of team that we are. It's like one game, it might be Matty Beniers, and then he might not score for 7 games. And then maybe the next game is, Yamamoto. Then it might be Bjorkstrand, and then maybe Dunn. Like, it has to be a team effort. And sometimes that can be good, but that can be frustrating as shit, too. Because then you just don't know when the fucking goal's going to come from. You don't got that superstar. Come on, Jared. Maybe Jared McCann could be the hero. Let's go. Come on, McCann. Nice steal. Like I said, McCann is that dude, though. Like you can count on him on first period, second period, third period. He can be on a line with any other player, any other group, of four. He's good to go. You feel better when he's on the ice. Come on, Crew. And Crew got his job back. Hopefully, Decord can his next start. He can play great, but if he starts to go on a downward slide, I don't want his mental health to go with it too. I imagine going through the ups and the downs, especially you got two goalies and they're both getting opportunities. And especially if you were the one that started off as the backup, you can't have too many shitty performances. Come on, Seattle. Come on, baby. Bowie's ready. Bowie is ready for the celebration. Come on, baby. Who's going to be the hero? I would love for it to be like every game it's Matty Beniers. Matty's going to be the guy. But like every game, you have no idea who's going to be the guy. And that's probably why we're in sixth place, because that's how it is. But at least the goaltending has been, and the level of focus has gone up. Come on, baby. Oh! Woo! Let's go. Oh, baby. Was that sweet or what? Let's go. Oh, my. Woo, baby. Uncle Mo. And that momentum. Let's go, Chris. What do you fucking say? Yorkie, are you fucking kidding me? Woo! With a heater? Let's go. Let's go, Kraken. That was fucking electric. Jesus. Yes, sir. Yorkie, our all-star. Fucking go. Unbelievable. That's what I'm talking about. Sports gods, just listen and help me out. Fuck yeah, Bjorky. Just like you did at the All-Star game. No one expected shit, and you fucking got a goal. You ended up getting your ass kicked and lost, but you got a goal. You rep Seattle the right way. 3-2 Seattle. Let's go. That's straight money, baby. Let's go. We have a chance. Got to win it in regulation right here. Like I said, it goes to OT. We're not good in OT. Just don't give Pasta the hat trick. Nice job, Grew. Fuck yeah, baby. Oh, 56 left. Commercial break, baby. Yorkie, baby. Bowie loves that shit. Kraken, baby. Let's go. Sixth place going against a first place. I mean, we suck ass. All right. But every once in a while, we'll play some decent hockey. Just like the Mariners. Every once in a while, the bats and the pitching will come together. Open Kraken. Closed Kraken. Deep sea dive and anchor Kraken. Let's go. Yorkie? Fuck yeah. 3-2 Kraken. And this is a big reason. If the goaltending was shitty like it was at the beginning of the year, he would have given up 3 goals in the first period, and the game would have been over, and everyone would have been asking what's for dinner and what club are we going to or what city are we going to next. So, this is going to always be the most important thing for us, with Grew or with Joey. You got to make sure that we have consistency. And once that happens, then everything else will fall into place, whether Matty turns into the superstar or if we have to find our own Kucherov or if we have to find our own Connor Bedard, or we have to find our Nathan McKinnon down the road. Let's go. Sometimes you just, it starts here. It's always going to start here because if you're the one that is the focal point, and if you play well, the other players will play well and step up for you. And I love it. Let's go. Let's go. 3-2 Kraken. Not over yet by any means. Two good performances. Let's go. Let's go. Yorkie, baby. I just want, consistency. And like I said, that's why with the Kraken, it's like you never really know unless you get a guy that gets hot. Like if you get a guy like Dunn that scores like 3 games in a row, then if he scores in the 4th, you're not surprised. He's been on a fucking heater. So sometimes we'll have a few guys that will score in back-to-back games, but normally not every single game for like 4 or 5 games in a row. Maybe an assist here, maybe not, but a penalty. Damn it, Seattle. Eberle. Fuck. Fucking tripping. Fuck. Now I need to see the replay. Let me see. Is it legit? For real? Unbelievable. Like I said, even the interference, I would have been cool, even though I knew goddamn well that was interference. But if they would have given them that goal, 3-3, I knew the Kraken it felt like they were on the, we ended up getting to 3. So even if the goal would have counted, I felt that momentum was kind of in our favor in that, particular area. But that's a bad one. Fucking Grew. This is the Grew that we had a couple of years ago. Okay. Last year's Grew. The year before that Grew. And like I said, I just want whoever is the healthiest mentally and physically and who's on the heater, whoever gives us the best chance to win. And that I don't give a shit. If it's Joey, it's Philip, or if it ends up being someone that's on Coachella that gets a chance to come up with Dredge, whatever it ends up being, I will support it as long as we're winning games and being competitive. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Power play. Running at 27 shots on goal for the Bruins, 24 for the Kraken. Defend the deep, release the Kraken. Hey, we're a 6th place team in the Pacific. Boston's a 1st place team, but we do have your number this season so far. We beat you 4-1 in Boston a day after Valentine's Day. But, you guys are a much better team than us, but we have your number this year so far. It's not over yet. If it goes to OT, I would assume Boston would win, if that says anything. So we have to win in regulation. Fuck! Hat trick? Did I call that or what? Huh? No, but it wasn't. Coyle. Pasta with the Hattie. Oh, Pasta. Sometimes when you say stuff like that, you don't really know if it's going to happen or not, or if it's like wishful thinking. But to say that he was going to maybe have a hat trick at the beginning and then he actually gets it in a streaming game, pretty cool. I don't like Grew giving up 3 goals, but we did predict. See, that's why Sports Gods and ESP is weird. I said, if we end up giving up 3 goals or less, right, we're going to have a shot in this game. And we're exactly 1 goal per period. It's like the Sports Gods are like legit. They just listen to exactly what we want in a game, and a lot of times, how many guys actually can get a hat trick? Pasta, Nathan McKinnon, Kucherov, there's a few guys, Ovechkin, even at his old age, and there's a few others, right? Where there are guys that can get hat tricks. They have the ability to score 3 or 4 in a game, but how often does it really, really happen? And how often does it happen when you actually watch the game, let alone stream it? But it's like almost everything is coming into fruition. Charlie Coyle, huh? Are they going to give it to Pasta? Are they going to give it to Coyle? They're going back and forth. They're like, who do we want to give this goal to? Should we give it to Coyle instead of giving it to Pasta? And they're like, yep, that's what we're going to do. And they changed it. No hat trick. It's funny how they love to do that. They're like, okay, it's going to go here. Nope, it's going to go here. Nope. So now they're flip-flopping back and forth, and now it's Coyle. But we still have time for him to get the hat trick. Maybe that'll be the winning goal in overtime. Oh, what a good game. What a good game, baby. 2:52 left in the third period. Charlie's like, I guess I'll take that. I imagine Charlie it would have been cooler just for Pasta to have a hat trick. We haven't got a hat trick in a stream at all this year yet. We've been close. That was the closest right there. But I've had a lot where superstar players gotten 2. But 3 is tough. But also you can have games where you get like 2 goals and like 3 assists, or 2 goals and 2 assists. And I don't know how many assists equate to a goal in most people's standards, but I would assume like 2 assists equals a goal, or 3. It's like, if you're going, it's not the same, but if you got 2 goals and 2 assists, that's essentially having like 3 goals, even though it's not based off effort. Charlie Coyle. All right, now I got to get a Coyle photo. I'm a little upset now. He didn't get the hat trick. I was hoping for that. Judah's like, I'm gonna make sure this game is competitive. I gotta get a fire Coyle one. Let me see if I can get some. How many will it take to format before it lets me? How many Charlies? Wow. Trying. There we go. What a game. This is exactly what you want as a fan. I mean, I was already blessed with the great NASCAR race coming down to the wire. Daniel Suarez, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch. And then we get some amazing NHL action to keep us going. Let's go. All right, Coyle. That would have been much better if it was Pasta. I mean, if we're hopping in the DeLorean, I'm like, all right, give it to Pasta. Hat trick. But it's been good. I don't know if I like our chances in overtime. We're going to have to win it here in regulation. All right. Let's get it done. Let's go. Oh, baby. Austin Matthews, 52. Reinhart, 39. Kucherov, 38. Pasta, 38. Hyman, 38. Kucherov is crazy. I need to try to squeeze in a lightning game at some point. I don't think we've done that many this year, like maybe one. So I need to, especially if he's starting to get on a heater here and there, I want to make sure, if he ends up scoring 2 goals or a hat trick, I need to stream that game or try to predict when that's going to happen. 29-25 Bruins based off shots on goal. Less than 2 minutes to go. We're knotted up at 3. Let's go Kraken. And fucking Bruins, Judah, you're crazy. Uh-oh, we're jabbing each other. Burakovsky and Carlo punch back. Carlo was just beating the shit out of him. Jabbed him. And he's like, oh, I should probably put my hands up and punch back. Yeah. All right, he got jammed into the boards. The words are exchanged. He said, what are you doing, punk? And then he jabbed first. And then his buddy stepped in. And then Carlo's like, all right, I'm going to fuck you up. It's funny how that works out. You try to fight one person, and then the guy that you originally are mad at, you don't even get to punch that guy. Kraken on the penalty. Come on. Let's go, Kraken. I don't know what I need to do for us to get some good luck here. Come on, baby. Come on, Bowie. I said, focus. Come on now. We're open for business. We're not closed. We are open. Let's go. We have a chance. I like our chances in regulation more than OT, but I mean, if we're already at this point, why not? And again, Gru has done a good job. He's only given up. I mean, good job considering. I mean, good job is getting a shutout, or a great job or giving up one. But with all things considered, if you have had a rough start and you give up a goal per period, sometimes you can live with that if you end up winning 4-3. Not every matchup you're going to end up, having a 2-0, 3-0 win or 4-1 win. Sometimes it ends up being a crunch time win. Come on, baby. Minute to go. This is nail biting. George in the building. What's good? Fuck, this game could go either way. Kraken have stepped up to the challenge. We're at home. We've beaten the Bruins 2 weeks ago. Oh! But I mean, I would assume, Bruins record in overtime is better than the Kraken. So if you're going based off that statistic alone, if it goes to OT, then we're probably going to lose, right? So if we can find a way to score here in the last 30 seconds, then that would probably be in our favor. Not saying that we can't win an overtime matchup, but they'll bring up the stat, I assume, here shortly. Fuck. GG, every time I watch Boston, we do Kraken games here, but we do pretty much all the hockey matchups that are good. We're doing Stars and Avalanche tomorrow. Bruins are something else, man. And I can tell by watching, you guys in full games in entirety, you got two solid goalies, right? Pasta is incredible. And again, they feed off that energy. And as long as, you got a guy that's leading in goals and scoring and assists, and he can stay on the ice, you guys are going to be just as good as anybody in the National Hockey League. We're going OT. Fuck, I don't know if I like this or not, man. All right, they're going to bring up the records, and I don't know the records offhand, but if I had to take a guess, I would probably predict, 100% chance their record is much better in OT than ours. I would be shocked if our OT record is better than theirs. I mean, consider they're a first-place team and we're a sixth-place team. What are the chances a sixth-place team has a better overtime record? It's possible, but I guess it just depends on how many OT games each team has been to. But I'm trying to remember all the times we've fucking gone into OT, and most of the times I think I've been pissed off at the end of the overtime. So we'll see. But GG so far. Great matchup. Commercial break here. Nice for Dunn to get us going. Grubauer, good game. Giving up a goal per period, giving us a chance. And that's when, you need to be able to have help. You got to be able to get sometimes more than 3 goals. Sometimes that fourth one might be it. Maybe that's what it's, going to come down to. Then you just got to have a little help by the sports gods. Be like, they're better than us, 100%. But we just got to find a way. Do it for Bowie. Do it for Gru. Make it happen. Defend the deep. Release the Kraken. Let's go, baby. Turbo, punch someone in the face. That's how you fucking win. I'm ready. Get this. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. You can donate to the channel many different ways, but most people do it either through the Super Chat or through Cash App. Come on, baby. I mean, yeah, it's most. I mean, for them to get a power play and then to end up, having a 5-on-4, and then we've seen that. How many times have we seen that? We've seen that a lot, right? Or we even shoot ourselves in the foot even more, and it's like 5-on-3. But we're only 4 shots, behind on shots on goal. Momentum has shifted. We had about 8 minutes of this game was in our favor, and the rest has been in Boston's control. So we, for 8 minutes in the second period, it was ours. And then we, had a few minutes in the first and few in the second, but primarily the game has been controlled. I feel like the style of play from Boston, but we fought back very, very valiantly, and we got a chance. Passing is going to be critical here too. Who's going to be the hero? Oh, you got to be kidding me. You're close. 26 shots on goal for the Kraken, 31 for the Bruins. Come on. Come on. Off the goalpost. Beniers. No way. Oh. When the chair gets slid back, that's a goal. That's a touchdown. That's a home run. Fuck. Come on, Bjorky. Come on. Oh, they're aggressive out there. No hat trick for Pasta. Come on now. Two minutes to go. Fuck. 31 shots on goal for the Bruins, 26 for the Kraken. We're knotted up at 3. Bruins are first place in the Atlantic. The Kraken are 6th place in the Pacific. We need this. Come on. Go. Go. 2-on-1. Oh. Oh, man. When you get 2-on-1s or 1-on-1s, it doesn't happen often. And if you don't cash in, that could be the difference between you winning the matchup or not. Come on, Maddie. Oh, no. Oh, no. What a save! Grew for the game. Wow, that 1-on-1 with the steal. Where was the penalty call? Where was the penalty call and the tripping on Maddie? They didn't even call it? And then you end up having a 1-on-1. Thank God Grew saved that. Jesus. I mean, I would say 9 times out of 10, that's a goal. Larson. McCann. Come on, Jared. Bjorkstrand. We got Bjorkstrand and McCann out there. So, they can work together and assist each other to try to get something nice. 40 seconds left. Oh, my God. I saw that he was falling, but there wasn't a trip in there also. I have to see a replay. Five shootout wins in team history, 3 at Climate Pledge. 12 seconds left. Come on. Unselfish. They're trying to set each other up for that perfect pass and that perfect setup. One timer. Overtime. I like the unselfishness, but Hallmark is doing a good job. 3-3. Shootout. Shoot off. Shootout. Oh, you already know what it is. End of overtime. Shootout. If you haven't watched Superbad, you fucking should. It should be a part of your timeline in your life. It's worth watching at least once or twice a year. Let's go for the shootout, baby. Let's go. Shootout. I don't know how I feel about this. How are you feeling about this, Megan? I mean, for us being, Kraken fans and whatnot, there will be obviously a few others that will, make their way through. How are we feeling about this right now? Man, I'd be heartbroken if Gru ends up losing this. I mean, yes, it's not perfect, but sometimes you're going to give up a goal, period. But as long as the other goalie is doing the same and you can find a way to win 4-3, I find those wins to be pretty satisfying. Regardless if it's in a shootout or in overtime or in, just finding a way to get it done, even though, both teams maybe gave up a goal or two more than they wanted, because most of the time it's like 1 or 0 is what you're shooting for. But I don't know, 4-3 wins are pretty desirable. We'll take it. Yamamoto! Let's go, Kyler! With the stutter. Yeah! What the fuck, baby? Let's go! All right, here we go. Coyle. Nice stop, Gru! Fucking let's go! Let's go! That's the guy? That's him? Let's fucking go. Tata, come on. One zero Kraken. Horrible shot by Tata. Whoa, where was the sauce in that? That's like getting nuggets with no sauce, like a 50-piece. Tata, what are you doing? Fish and chips, no sauce. Damn. That was the best that you could come up with? That was terrible. Fuck, anybody, golly. The German gentleman with a save. Yes, sir. Way to be that dude. Way to be electric. Let's go. Now we want it, man. Come on, Maddie. Come on, Maddie. Good save. Hallmark. Insane. Pasta, 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 pasta. Not today. Let's go. 4, 3. Kraken. And almost to the cue, we wanted to be able to have a chance to see Pasta get a hat trick or close. We got close, right? We wanted Gru to give up 3 goals or less to give us a chance against this first place team. He did. And we actually got enough scoring, even though it was only 4, but we'll take it. Big 4-3 win. Final in the shootout. Hey, and you know what's funny too? I had Jared McCann on the thumb originally, and I took the extra time to go back to try to get a Gru image just for this game. I'm thinking that maybe this could be something big. And Pasta, Gru, you did not disappoint. That was awesome. We are going to be doing the Stars and the Avalanche tomorrow at 6:30 Pacific. I can't guarantee it's going to be magic like this, but it could be. And fucking A, that was one of the more enjoyable wins that Kraken fans have been able to experience. And we're 2-0 against Boston. We know they are better than us, but as long as we have the head-to-head matchup secure, Bowie is happy. Defend the deep, release the Kraken. GG to Judah and all the Bruins fans. But it ultimately came down to this man right here, Philip Grubauer. But we also have to make sure we're getting the proper love to Kyler Yamamoto, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Vince Dunn, Jordan Eberle. I'll see you. But it all is going to start, and it's all going to end with either Joey Decord or Philip Grubauer. The German gentleman strikes again. Let's go. Let's go. He's like, we won. Look good, feel good, play good. Handsome guy. I see you. We're good for today. Let's go. And look, we didn't even have to have Turbo beat the shit out of anyone to win. Let's fucking go. But we will give some love to Boston because I really do enjoy watching them play. And Pasta is a gem. I don't care what anyone says. Pasta, when you watch him, he looks like a top 10 player. He plays like a top 10 player. And he is a top 10 player. He is nice. Pasta is nice. Big win. Well, I got to go eat dinner, walk my dog, and do that. And again, release the Kraken, defend the deep. And we'll be back tomorrow at 6:30 Pacific. And we will be doing the Dallas Stars versus the Colorado Avalanche. I think ESPN Plus, Hulu is offering it, as well as you can watch it on some other platforms as well. But wow, awesome win. I'll remember this one for the rest of the year. Defend the deep, release the Kraken. He gets to come out one last time. We love it. And make sure you come through. Shout out to all the people on Twitter/X that watched and came through. Shout out to all the people watching in the room here. Like, sub, donate, share if you can. And we'll continue this grind. We'll end up having some Mariner streams in the near future as well as other teams like the Dodgers and a few of your favorites. And we will be back tomorrow for the Stars and the Avalanche at 6:30 Pacific time. And I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Final score, Kraken 4, Bruins 3. Final in overtime. Shut out. And I love you. Gang.